Ready to rock too.
Bam, we're live. Good morning. 5:25 a.m. Goodness gracious, you're up, Souza. Oh, we got a link sent over to the guys.
Yes, sir.
Popping on any minute. John Young and Matt Souza. I'm gonna go over to the Dubai Fitness. They got a live. I'm at the 2021 Dubai CrossFit Championship Day 3, 3,100 people watching. Looks like they started the live stream 104 minutes ago. We got up at 3:50 a.m. Oh, it's gonna be a long day again. It's gonna be a long day again. After the show yesterday, I was like basically a vegetable the rest of the day. What's up, Brian?
I felt similar for a little while. Then I took a 30-minute nap and was good to go.
I tried to do that. I think I hit a spot where I was so tired that I couldn't even nap. Okay, let's refresh that leaderboard. What are we? We've completed 4 events, Brian.
What? Well, no, more than that. Actually, they've done 6 scored events.
Okay, including 1A and 1B?
Correct.
Okay, so we just watched event 5 this morning, which was the muscle up and thruster workout. Everyone did much better than I imagined. I thought that we would see people get stopped on the set of 10, and the dudes just absolutely destroyed it. Should we start with the dudes?
Sure. Maybe we should start with the women because we definitely have those results.
Okay, then to the women we go.
They haven't updated the men's yet.
And we have a very impressive story over there with Emma Lawson, don't we?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I thought that a majority of the women in the second heat would beat her. Her time was obviously good and clearly better than I even thought. She took third in that workout, moved up into a tie for 9th, I think, overall with Turi Helgadottir. And, I mean, look, 5 scored events is that's all you got for how many semifinal workouts were there? 5 or 4 or something like that? And you're talking about being tied with Turi Helgadottir, who was 13th at the CrossFit Games this year, 2 points behind Emily Rolfe, who made the top 20, and 15 points behind Sarah Sigmundsdottir. So she's right up there in the mix with games, obvious games level athletes through 5 events, and that's pretty cool.
What do I need to do to see event number 4 and 5?
There's an arrow towards the bottom. You're gonna have to scroll down. So there it is.
I don't see that on mine.
Well,
by using this website, you agree to. Oh, I have to click OK. I have to agree to using the website, and then I can scroll over. Okay, here we go. And any surprise here at the top after 5 events? Good morning, John. We have Laura Horvat, Kristen Holte, Sam Briggs, Gabriella Magawa, Jacqueline Dahlstrom. How are those 5 treating you?
I mean, I think Laura, really the only question we had about Laura coming in was would there be a handstand push-up standard she couldn't do? There wasn't. So she's expected to win here, I'd say. And she is. Kristen Holte is doing great. We thought she would be on the podium. It looks like she's in a great position for that. Sam Briggs, actually, Emily Beers wrote an article for Morning Chalk Up yesterday. I encouraged her to look into it and just write about Sam's history at Dubai and how often she's done well here. So if you're a big Sam Briggs fan, you can go check that article out on the Morning Chalk Up. But once again, at 39 years old, she's right in the mix at a high-level off-season competition. And it's it's incredible. I thought that 6th to 10th was probably going to be where she'd fall, but now it's looking like 5th at the worst.
And I know I poke fun at her a lot. She's been around forever. She's 39 years old, but in actuality, she is the only CrossFit Games champ on the roster, correct?
That's right. That is right. Well, in the elite division, but we have Andrea Nisler, who's one on the team, and Emma Lawson, who's one as a teenager. But yes.
Good points. And we know that that's no joke, winning the CrossFit Games.
Not at all, but it's also been 8 years.
Correct. Let's talk about Emma Lawson, 16. Is this Are we just over here going, oh my God, look how great Haley Adams, look how great Mal O'Brien, look how great Emma Carey is, and then we're all gonna have the
I mean, it's hard to say. There's certain things that you look at with someone this young. I mean, one of the things that really jumped out for Emma Carey and Mal O'Brien in the build up to the games this year, the qualifying stages, was how strong they were at that age. And Emma Lawson took a middle of the pack 9th place finish on the lifting event here. We know it's not the top end of a women's field that we've ever seen, but there are, a handful of the best European women here. And she's fitting in. She doesn't look out of place. She's not being embarrassed. It was risky for her to take the trip over there from Canada. It was risky for Dubai to invite her, but everyone, I think, is happy that she's there because it is showing us yet again that there's a teenage girl, and I think there are even more coming, honestly, who are going to be relevant factors in the season for the next couple of years.
And crazy stuff can happen between the age of 16 and 19.
And I just think look at the girls ahead of her, like Emily Rolfe, Sarah Sigmundsdottir, Gabby, Jacqueline Dahlstrom, even Andrea Nisler. These are games people that are ahead of her, and they're not very much ahead of her. And she's ahead of people like Juri Helgadottir, and she's only going to get better.
And what's fascinating is these people in front of her are stallions. These are the thoroughbreds, and so she has so much mental I don't know what the word is, mental latitude. She has so much mental space to justify
fortitude.
Well, to justify her placement. She's the top pony. Everyone in front of her should 100% be in front of her. Andrea Nisler's a fucking grown-ass woman. Sarah Sigmundsdottir. And yet she's hanging with these. I mean, she is a pony running with the horses, with the really big horses.
And I think that what will, although she's done great through these events so far, the next question is, can she match the power output of women that are 10 years older than her? Because it's kind of like a different way to test strength or capacity. And at the games, we saw Mal O'Brien's worst event, I think, was the one with the Echo bike. And Emma Carey wasn't great on that either. We saw them dominate events like thrusters and wall walks. And we saw Emma Lawson very good on her hands, very good in a thruster workout. So now we're going to have 2 workouts coming up with machines in them where it'll be like the next question answered for her.
It's interesting. How many years? 10 years older? You bring up a really good point. I mean, Sam Briggs could be her mom.
That's really good.
Yeah. Very easily. She would be an old mom for her if this was Alabama.
Oh, hold on, guys.
Tell us, John. Tell us what's going on. Oh, are we going live? We are going to do this next one live for you guys. We're going to take another shot at it. Katie, thanks for the $10. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. You guys are piling in quickly. Oh,
have y'all talked about Jacqueline Dahlstrom yet?
Let's bring this up real quick. Can you bring up the live feed real quick, Susan? Let's see what this lady's saying. Did someone pull out? We missed it. That was the medical manager for the Dubai CrossFit Championships who was talking. No, we haven't talked about Dahlstrom. Go ahead, John.
I mean, she's got a shot at podium, and I don't think anybody saw that coming.
She has no shot at podium. We know what the next workouts are, dude. There's no chance.
You think they're going to crush her on the bike and the rower?
Yeah, and the final.
Well, we don't know what the final is yet.
Well, for sure, mathematically, John, what you were saying is accurate. And Brian is saying is if you have an IQ over a cricket, no, she doesn't have a chance. The way he's kicking you around. All right, good. That was easy.
But I will say that her performance this morning, or the first workout, was very impressive. And overall, she's doing better than I thought. I thought she'd be closer to 10th than 5th.
John, what do you do when the dog starts barking? Do you kick it or do you yell at your girlfriend? Those seem like the only 2 options. Get your fucking dog, or wham.
He's got attachment issues, so he has to be in the room with you. So I just kick him out of the room. He's fine.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't use that word kick. Oh, come on, Heidi. I've been awake since 3:50. Let's talk about the men here. How many minutes do we have before this thing kicks off?
I think 5.
Okay, let's cruise on over to the men. We had a
they still have not updated the leaderboard for the men.
Okay. We had a text.
But we know the top 3.
We had a text thread going, and I thought for sure we would see at least 1 or 2 of the men get stopped and just be standing around under the rings. And I was so wrong. These guys were flying. No one got stopped.
Why did you think that?
I guess I'm used to just seeing that in CrossFit events. When you have something that's 5 rounds, especially increasing, especially with the pressure to do well, I thought we'd see someone, get stopped at like 8 at the 8 and have to jump off, at 6 muscle ups and just get stopped. But I couldn't have been for more.
When
wrong.
it's broken up like that, it's just not a limiter for the guys.
Oh, and you just think about the total volume. 30 ring muscle ups in a workout is extremely normal for men and even women at this point. If you start pushing that number towards 45 muscle ups, 60 muscle ups, then you're going to see a drastic drop off at each of those, like extra 10 to 15 reps.
And what was Bronislaw's time? He was the slowest guy in the pack.
He probably cruised over the finish line.
He was 5:30.
Yeah, and that's still incredibly fast. And what was the weight on their thrusters? 135.
Yep.
Yeah, and the thrusters honestly seemed like a non-factor. I mean, in 1 or 2 cases, maybe the barbell cycling speed was allowed Roman to edge out Adler type thing. But for the most part, this was no one struggled with the thruster.
I like a workout like this. I don't think the thruster should be heavier. I don't think there should have been more muscle ups. I like a sprint. I like it when transition times become a huge factor. I think that there's a mental fortitude piece that's tested here that's pretty cool. You guys think that any of those things should have been different? They should have gone to 12. They should have gone to 155 or 185 on the thruster.
I would have been a fan of a heavier thruster, but I'm biased. I usually like for things to be heavier than they are. I just think when there's a movement that everybody can do and nobody gets an advantage on it, it's for a 5-minute event, it's kind of negligent.
It's fun as a spectator to also for there to be events that like you can get your head wrapped around, like I can do that. I can do that workout at 135. It might take me fucking all morning and a sandwich break, but at 185, I can't. And so there is that fun piece too.
I think, you can't, when you're talking about a competition, 8 or 9 events, whatever it is, and you're asking about a workout like that, you have to look at it in the context of the rest of the workout. So now we know that's a 4-minute workout, basically 5 minutes for the women. And for the, we had I guess a 2 to 4 minute workout on the first day running up and down the hill. We had yesterday a workout that was rounds of things that took basically 90 seconds. So average it out, average amount of people did 3 rounds. Again, you're looking at 5 minutes of work. We have 2 workouts coming up, both of which have a 6-minute time cap. So, and they had allowed a 10-minute time cap here, and no one even really needed more than 6 minutes, except for one woman. So I think that it would have been a good opportunity for them to increase the weight or the reps to a point where the average finisher was closer to 8 minutes, because so far we don't have anything in that time domain.
Thought like a true mathematician. I want to point out something, how important the transitions are and how important it is to go fast. Ricky Garrard is in 3rd place by 1 point. And yet he lost 5 points in that last workout by 0.2 of a second. So if he would have beat Caravas, if he would have just stumbled across the finish line 0.2 of a second faster, Ricky would be in 2nd place right now. And instead he's in 3rd place behind Jeffrey Adler.
He actually made up a lot of points on that workout.
Against
a lot more. Jeff.
Well, 15.
I mean, that's a lot considering, because they were very.
It's a third of the points available, really.
They didn't seem that far apart. I didn't expect them to make that big of a jump.
It's close, man. The men's competition is close. Lazar, Ricky, and Jeff are all in it now. They are all.
And Lazar, you can almost mark it down in pen, is going to win the first part of the next couplet.
Is it Lazar or Lazar?
I think the bike will be more important than the toes to bar.
Mark it down as a win for Lazar, John.
Okay. Do you want to make I'll take the field and you can take Lazar, or we can make a bet on something.
We're just minutes away from heat number 1 of event number 6 starting. It looks like we're going to get another chance to see Emma Lawson in this heat.
Oh, they're not reseeding. Gosh. That was a long enough break where I think they could have reseated the athletes close to an hour after a 3-minute workout, 5-minute workout. But
For sure.
Would an athlete rather be reseated or just keep getting the same amount of rest?
I think I would sacrifice the rest. I think it's an advantage to go in the last heat. Even if you think about what you just said about Ricky, if he was racing against Yorgos down the finish line, he probably beats him. But he was in the previous heat and he's racing a time. It's a lot more difficult to do. If you're in the first heat, you're racing a ghost. You don't even know what you're really competing against. The women have just started, by the way.
Souza, can you get the stream up for the go to the Dubai CrossFit Championship YouTube station? Boy, man, Roman looked big crossing the finish line after Ricky in that last workout, didn't he? Is he 20 pounds? Does he have 20 pounds on Ricky?
I don't know what Ricky's weighing these days, but it sounds like Roman's gained 20 pounds himself in the last.
Ricky's
year.
like 190.
And I was actually between events, I spoke to someone who's out there in Dubai and talked about Roman for a little bit. And they said, yeah, man, he looks thick.
He's been strength training. So I don't blame. That's what he needed to do to cover up his holes, because he had one hole and that was strength. And I think he's done a good job. Even if it's hurt his endurance a little bit, I think he's done a good job of covering it.
What are we looking at here? What's this event number 6? Can you run us through it real quick?
Yeah, so this is the one that the athletes got to choose. So technically, Andrea Nisler got to choose this workout out of 6 workouts that they gave her, but she deferred to the rest of the athletes there. And so they have 21:15.9 echo bike calories and toes to bar. And then they have at the 7-minute mark, regardless of when they finish. Well, it's a 6-minute time cap. So if you're not done, you stop anyway. But at 7 minutes, they're going to start a second couplet that's also 21:15.9 calories rowing and bar facing burpees. So this is I did these 2 workouts yesterday, and the first workout I think is basically all about the bike. I'm expecting all the men and majority of the women to go unbroken throughout the toes to bar, and then just be whoever can push the bike.
Do you think Lazar's going to bike better than Roman?
John, just watch.
Okay. All right. I have Roman.
What? Oh, okay. So they have to advance their little cone. So there's a little execution error by Emma Lawson right there. Just cost her a few seconds.
Why? What did she do? He's
got on the bike.
Off the bike.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that's tough.
That's not. I mean, it's tough, but they obviously know they're supposed to do that, so you just have to remember.
Hey, so what do you think about that? Should the judge tell her that? Does the judge tell her? Does the judge?
It's his responsibility to tell her. Yeah, she's going to say, "Move your cone. You can't get any calories till you move your cone."
Well, she had already jumped on the bike. Either you're going to tell her in the right time, or you're not going to tell her at all. Do you know what I mean? Like, what if he just wouldn't have told her and she just got fucking DQ'd?
I think he's supposed to give her the opportunity to do it correctly, and as soon as she doesn't, then he course corrects.
All right, and that is what happened, I guess. And that did probably that cost her 5 seconds.
Maybe.
Those are the kind of errors that you may have seen a young Sarah Sigmund's daughter make. And it's more than just losing 5 seconds. It's a mental trip too, right?
Certainly. You're like, you're going to that's the type of thing where you'd be on the competition floor and you say, God, that was stupid, and then you have to recover from it. So it looks like Julie Hugar, who has not had a great competition so far. She's been the fittest woman in Denmark before, is first to the toes to bar in round 2 here. And we're seeing the first round, most of the women were pretty even. Now there's a little bit more strung out where it looks like Julie might even get off the rig before one of the other women gets back to the rig.
Did you see these new overlays, Souza, that Will made? Crazy, right? Let me play with some of these.
So when this event is over, the majority of the workouts will be under 5 minutes that they have done, more than half.
Yeah. And I mean, we've talked about on here before how it just goes that way in competitions these days. Like 3 to 10 minute workouts, you have to be good. And once again, we have a competition here where about half of them are going to end up in that range.
God, we're like a real show now. We have a subscribe button. Can't even believe
So
it.
Julie Hugar still in the lead. Going to the last set of toes to bar. It's only 9. Then they'll sprint down the floor. Emma Lawson and I think Rebecca Vidison are in the blue shirts. So it's just about who can cycle the toes bar faster. You see Vidison's actually like pulling her legs down. So I think she might end up a rep or two ahead. Yep, there it is.
Someone in the comments said that they have plaques now. I didn't see those. Where are those? They're up over they're on the rig.
Brian, you're ahead of the stream a little bit.
No, I'm watching on ours.
I don't see any plaques.
Race to the finish there, but all the women under 5 minutes. So they'll have I guess there's still a couple out there. Still under 5 minutes. So they'll have 2 minutes here to reset for the second part. And it's both events are worth 100 points. So what I'm curious about here is if there will be I was trying to see who made a finish, who's this finishing last. And maybe if there's someone who knows that they're not that great on the bike, but they're really good at burpees. If they're like, well, I'll just accept kind of a lower finish in the first one, and I'm going to really try to push
hard on the rower.
Because I think I think that this next workout's about the burpees actually.
No, I know, but if you're really good at, I agree. But if you're really good at burpees, you would go hard on the rower.
Did we ever?
You know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, because you took the bike easy.
Did we ever find out if what the payout is for event wins?
3,000.
3,000, 2,000, 1,000, I believe.
It would be interesting to see if you were one of the last place people just to do the minimum work requirement on that first workout and then crush that second workout. I think Pat Barber did something like that in the 2010 games.
It was the end one, like the end 1, end 2, end 3, and he won the end 3. But it looked very impressive. But if you look back, he kind of sandbagged the first 2.
He dogged the first 2 just so he could win the last one.
Yeah. I'm okay with it.
Did they get money for winning events back then?
I'm sure they got something. It was probably very little.
Then they get like a Panda Express
Panda
box.
Express. The winner got that.
Yeah, probably. That sounds right. And a wad of cash, handful of cash.
So I don't know about heat to heat, but I think that event to event, you will not see the same winners from event 6A to 6B. That where the first one I think favors the bike a little bit, which favors the heavier, powerful athlete. I think this is going to favor the lighter athlete that can cycle the burpees. I think that the rowing will be not negligible, but a small range. And then you'll see some athletes who are really good at bar facing burpees be able to make up 10 to 30 seconds on those.
I agree. I think somebody like Roman will win the first one. Brian's got Lazar, and then I think like Ricky could win the second one on the rower because it's more about athleticism, just who's the fastest doing burpees.
Yeah, and Ricky's a great pick for the second one for the men. Also, like someone like an Alex Catoulis type that's just like quick, fast moving, but still able to hold his own on the rower. But for the girls here in this first heat, what I really want to see is if like Ake Gilfadottir, she's a very experienced and smaller athlete in general, is able to do well against this heat when she finished last on the first one. And maybe she was just holding back a little bit.
Good morning, Kevin. I don't think you even know what the word professional means just by you asking that question. What do you say to that?
What do I say to that?
No, him.
I think he was pretty close, Will.
There's no
comment, Brian.
No. I don't think so. I don't know. I was 5-0 something, but I didn't have to do the transitions that they did in the running down the floor at the end. Trying to see.
Brian, you didn't beat any of these women. What are you talking about?
I beat the time caps. I was happy with that.
Yeah. That's good. I think that's good too. That's awesome.
So this will be, I'm really pay attention here to what happened. Remember to Emma Lawson. They'll have to do their last burpee and then go move that cone. And this is the type of mistake you don't want to make where you accidentally start running back to your rower because then you have to go back over the barbell twice more if you make that mistake. So looking for the first woman to finish.
I don't see anybody doing speed burpees though, which is kind of surprising to me.
What are speed burpees?
Where it's just up, down, over, up, down, over. Everybody's doing the step up over.
I think that's judge's hand in the air for Emma Lawson first again.
Good. You're a good dude, Kevin. You're a good dude. You're a good dude.
Kevin Carnett, I've done commentary at Filthy 150 on a couple events, and I did it with Bill Grunler at Wadapalooza a year or two ago. But no one probably heard that because it was behind the Flow Elite paywall.
That's a powerful wall.
Speaking of Flow Elite, I did see that Waters of Oblivion. I saw that Wiltsy did get some sort of Panda Express thing going. I can't tell if I'm happy for him or feel sorry for him.
You know, it'd be interesting to see how hard they're pulling here in the second round. I think that, you know, this is the gut check round. So you have to decide, like, do I have it or do I need to just hold back a little bit for that round of 9? But it looks like they're putting a pretty good effort into every pull.
They're not separating as much as they did the first event.
Well,
as of right now.
I think one person is separating.
Did anyone get pulled out of the event last night while we were sleeping? Is Emma Carey the only one?
Yeah. Everyone else took the floor for the event 5 this morning.
That's pretty impressive. Okay, we got a...
What's impressive about that?
I mean, these guys are going hard. These are cars going full speed. This is like they're letting, trying to let the wheels fall off the bus.
It's a good opportunity to talk about something that we mentioned in the build-up. What Dubai's done here this year is hopefully rewriting the script in terms of what kind of competition they run. Like the workouts are hard and the competition is challenging, and I think that the programming, by the time you see it all, is fairly well balanced. But they also have allowed for enough time for recovery and rest with this 4 p.m. start time, 4 p.m. start time. They had 30 hours between days 1 and 2 and 18 hours between days 2 and 3. And that is, for athletes of this caliber, plenty of time to get everything in order to be able to execute again. So I think that actually the format here is great for the athletes to allow them rest and recovery and therefore better performance on the floor, which I know that there's an element of testing them when they're fatigued or tired or not prepared or at different times of day that sometimes people like to do. And there's a place for that. But I think here we want to see the athletes at their best as much as possible. And the schedule this time is really giving us that opportunity.
You've mentioned over all the events we've done together, Brian, you've really emphasized the difference between events that have 13, 14, 15, 16 events versus 7 or 8 events. And I can hear it, and I've always believed you. But now that we've done these 2 this year, I see it, and it is different to see it and witness it, and to see the difference in those outcomes.
So Emma Lawson just won that heat, and I mean this. What I really hope now is that they reseed for the final, because I want to see her go against the top women in at least one event.
Gilfa daughter got second in the heat, so she was holding back.
Now who's watching the stream that's ahead, John?
Well, this one's all laggy. Regular YouTube's not laggy.
But that is a great point. So Ake was last in her heat in the first one, second in her heat in the second one, and don't be surprised if you see. We may not necessarily know who that's going to be, but if we see that happen in every heat or something similar to it.
But Sevan, do you see the last 9 burpees, how they were going faster?
Yeah.
I was just surprised nobody did that from the 21s.
And I think did not all the women finish that, right?
I'm not sure. It was close.
Brian, if you could add a workout to this, or John, add a workout to this this weekend, what would you guys add?
Something in the 10 to 15 minute range. It'd probably be a rounds for time, and then you could just pick movements that you haven't done already.
Maybe something where barbell cycling is the limiting factor. Like, I don't know that we've had that necessarily, where we have had a heavy lift, we've had power output. I think the ring muscle ups were the factor in the last one primarily. But I don't, last time they had like that really quick snatch workout. I don't know if we need to be that fast, but maybe something where
I think they could do like a clean pyramid, but you have to run 400 meters in between each set. So you could do 10 cleans at whatever weight, run 400 meters, and then 8 cleans, run 400 meters, and it ends with 2 cleans
Maybe.
at a heavy weight. They've never done that before. It's been a clean pyramid, or it's just been like one lift. And I think that would be cool.
What percentage of these ladies are going to make it to the games this year? What percentage of these ladies are games caliber athletes?
In this first heat?
Just in the whole field, in this field of 20.
Well, the obvious ones are Laura Horvath and Gabby McGow. Like those are, I would say, are pretty much locks outside of extenuating circumstances. Kristen Holter's retiring. Sam Briggs is going to go for it again one more time, but I think it's going to be tough for her. I mean, even with Kristen Holt out of the picture, it's still really difficult in Europe to make it with only 10 spots.
I'd say 5.
And then, some of them, Turi might make it. Sarah hopefully will be, back and healthy enough to make it. Jacqueline Dahlstrom will be in the mix. Emily Rolfe is a good candidate.
There. Yeah.
And you got girls like,
theme? Is it a common theme of the reason why the other 15 won't make it, or is it a whole variety? Some don't have.
No, John, I think John's
strong enough.
I think John's low on his projection there because you also have Emma Carey who is in this field that is probably good enough.
I'm not thinking about the people that are withdrew, the people competing.
Okay, and then you have Manu Nagonis and Evie Hollis, who were both 6th place at the semifinals last year in Europe, so they're right there knocking on the door. So I think that you could see half of this field make it to the games next year.
And the other half, what's
You're
their limiting
crazy.
factor?
The limiting factors for the other half are that they're competing as a team, or they're retiring, or they're just not good enough. They're not good enough for a variety of reasons.
Okay, so it's not one thing. It's not like, hey, the overwhelming number of them just aren't strong enough. It's just a whole smattering of missing elements.
No, it's just fitness. It's just some people are fitter. It's not just one thing.
And is the men's competition tougher here in Dubai or the women's competition?
I think I actually think they're very similar.
Yeah.
Where you basically have 4 people at the top that are well ahead of everyone else.
And did you think that coming into the weekend, or has your opinion changed?
No, I mean, we basically thought that it would be Laura, Gabby, Kristen, maybe Sarah Sigmundstadter. We weren't sure. And then we didn't know about Andrea Nisler, Emma Carey. And honestly, I wasn't considering Sam Briggs for a podium spot this year. So she's been the surprise on the women's side for me. And then for the men, the top 4 guys right now are the exact 4 that I thought would be up there. And if there was a wild card, it was Willie George, just not knowing how he would be in his first competition back. He's been pretty good. So not too surprising at the top. Some of the guys in the 6 through 10 range and some of the girls in that range are doing a little better than I expected.
Why isn't Jamie Simmons in this competition? Was she not invited?
I don't know. I would imagine.
She's at the top of the food chain, right?
She had surgery not too long ago.
Yeah, she took off. She didn't compete last year because of injury and surgery. And I don't know. I haven't really checked in to see where she's at coming back, but she's there. She's supporting Elliott.
All right, we got the second heat.
Sam Briggs should crush the first one.
Okay, John.
Get him, Brian. Get him.
The biking and toes the bar?
You have to be consistent, John. If you're going to call the power athlete to win for the men, you can't call the finesse athlete to win for the women.
Different reasons. I think Briggs's toes the bar are better than everybody else's.
And so are Lazar's.
Okay. All right, Brian. We'll see.
I'm just saying, be consistent. If Sam Briggs is going to win one of these workouts,
power output does not matter as much for the women. No woman is out there crushing 100 RPMs. So it doesn't matter as much. When Roman's out there and he goes 120 RPMs.
That's where we need Colton Mertens to chime in. We'll see.
Right. But if everybody's at 90 at their max for the women, it doesn't make as much of a difference where Roman's going 120 and Lazar's going 100.
Can I tell you how? Go ahead. Sorry.
There's a bigger difference in that gap. For the women, I think it's more important who toes the bar the fastest. For the men, I think it's more important who bikes the fastest.
I'll take Laura Horvath here.
I mean, that's also a good call because she has the best advantage on the bike.
How beautiful is the stream today? It's clearer than it was yesterday, right? I mean, their stream's the same. I mean, the stream we're ripping off and inserting in here. It's less grainy.
Are we giving credit to Souza for that?
No. Sousa's computer shit the bed. This is mine. This is my fucking God. You guys should see
Your
my
computer
setup.
better not shit the bed after the money you spent on it. I mean, someone spent on it.
Right. Oh, we haven't reached out to Christoph. We should get Christoph back on today. That's a good idea.
I asked him about Jacqueline Dahlstrom's sandbag yesterday, and he's like, "Dude, the thing just blew up."
I like stuff like that.
All right, so
I just got a confirmation for a podcast next week. That guy Dusty Tuckness, Souza, the rodeo champion, he's in.
So
it's a good day.
Let me ask you something, Brian.
Let me ask you something. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, do you want to ask me something, or you want me to go?
No, you go.
Look at wait, real quick. Look at that rig shaking. Wow. I want to see that thing fold in on itself.
Your thought process for the women is my thought process for the men. So why do you change that thought process the other way around?
I just don't think you're giving Lazar credit for his capacity on the bike.
It's not about Lazar. It's the capacity I'm giving credit to for Roman.
Yeah, and Roman's a great pick. I think he's going to finish second.
Well, I mean, Laura's murdering this one. That only makes me think Roman's going to do that well in the men's.
Will, I took down the quality. Just now to from 1080 to 420. Is that better? Is it less laggy? I'm not seeing any lag on my side. Are you guys seeing any lag?
Yeah, it's lagging on the stream. It's not lagging on YouTube, but it's lagging on ours.
In a second here, they're going to show Andrea Nisler biking. And this is a good lesson for people. See how her knees are going to the outside like that? You do not want to do that. And you probably see some people at your gym. But if you can keep your knees more neutral over your toes, that's going to be probably better for your body overall if you're biking aggressively.
And to be honest with you, I don't like the hip pivoting back and forth. I don't think that's good for you either on the seat. Barber used to do that a lot. Spieler used to do that. I don't think it's good for you.
I think Emily is Emily in the lead right now?
I can't tell with the stream like this, but I think it's the camera work,
I've had to explain this on a few episodes. If I'm not talking, that means someone's interrupting me. It's your paradigm of thinking is all fucked up, RB. But I'll help you out with that. I'll keep helping you.
Okay, so what do we have? 5 minutes was the time to beat here, John? No. Did we mark it down?
No, we didn't. So Emily. It's going to be Emily and Laura.
Yeah, and Emily Rolfe won the running toes to bar workout at the games. It's obviously a very different time domain. That was 22 minutes or so. This is only 4, but obviously she's very good at toes to bar, and she's – oh, wow.
What? Oh, Sam Briggs.
No, not that.
What are you? Oh, wow.
This sprint to the finish here between Laura and I can't tell if that's Sarah or Andrea.
Wait, they beat the time from the previous heat by over a minute?
I think it's Andrea.
Yeah, I think it was Andrea too. His hair looked just a little bit blonder. And I think she's one lane closer than Sarah. So Andrea Nisler and Laura Horvath, we think, had a very close race to the finish there.
So if you go back and watch it, Andrea is ahead of her, and then she slows down, and Laura gets right even.
On the run.
The sprint to the finish.
Wow.
And if you remember back to the games this summer, there was a workout where Laura was crossing the finish line and someone chased her down and the crowd starts cheering and Laura starts raising her hands like she's saluting the crowd as this person just races past her. So maybe she got an opportunity to be on the other side of that in this one.
So the fastest time in this heat was over a minute faster than the previous heat?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Because
I'll go back.
I think that John had said I didn't beat anyone on this workout from the first heat, and
that was the ring muscle up thruster.
No.
Oh, you're talking about you?
Yeah. I think all the girls were under 5 minutes in the first year, or at least under 5:15.
Wow, and Laura's already getting over to her row or getting ready. Oh, they start at 6 minutes.
That's 7 minutes.
At 7
Okay,
minutes.
the winning time was 4:27 for the first heat.
Are the men doing the exact same thing? Same distance on the row, same distance on the bike, same?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's cool. We're gonna get to compare apples to oranges.
It is cool. It's a little like, they've had some slightly different time caps for men for women, and it's interesting that they don't in this case when, it's pretty obvious that the men have a higher capacity on the machines, and I don't think that the gymnastics is really high enough quantity to favor, the women over the men. So I could have seen a workout like this where the men's time cap was 5 and the women's was 6 or 6 and 7, but it seems like all the women can beat it anyway. And so I think it's going to work out.
Okay. And 5:17 was the record, it looks like, according to this guy, and Gershwin for the second one. Okay.
So the first 4 or 5 women that finished were all ahead of the first heat time for the bike one.
Hey, Will, is this thing still stuttering? Was it better that I lowered this to 480?
So I'm thinking that Sam Briggs is going to do better on this one than she did on the first one.
I think she overpaced the first one.
Well,
if you watch her on the 21, she wasn't killing it on the bike.
Is Matt O'Keefe going to let us do this for Wadapalooza?
he actually asked if we were going to.
Just pirate their.
He really wants you to come to Miami.
It's free on YouTube, right?
Say that again.
Yeah,
Wadapalooza is free on YouTube this year.
Yes,
it's the first year that it's free.
I'm just thinking that they would want to aggregate all the viewers onto their YouTube channel, and they wouldn't want us pirating it. But it would be really cool to not only pirate their stream, but send someone there with an iPhone and a little gimbal and just be doing interviews on the floor, our own special interviews. I mean, we could be doing that right now. Dubai should have given us the resources to do that. That would have been awesome. We could be bringing all sorts of post event interviews.
So let's see who's coming off the rower first here. It looks like most of the women are about the same.
This
Michaela
is
Norman,
who
they're
burpees
focusing
the
on.
fastest.
Yeah, so that's a good example. So Michaela Norman, it looked like we couldn't see the whole floor, was the first one off the row, but I do not expect her to be the first one done with these 21 burpees. It was actually like, I was surprised in the middle of this set of burpees. I was like, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna hit the time cap in this workout. But there'll be some men and some women that can cruise through the burpees here, and I think we'll see a little bit more separation.
I think Nistler's going.
Is that Horvat in lane 3 up from the bottom?
Her and Gabby I think Gabby's in the black pants and Laura's in the green.
Nistler and Holta are going the fastest right now on the burpees. I think this first round, everybody's going to be really close. When did Emma start separating? Was it the 15s?
Yeah, she definitely pulled away in the 15s. But
Sam Briggs came off the burpees first.
Yeah.
And there she goes.
Sarah's having a good pace.
Sevan, just got a message from someone offering to be your iPhone person at Wadapalooza.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dang, Laura must have sold her soul in the first one. She is behind.
Well, and this is what we talked about, is that there is the potential not just for someone to do great on the first one and not as or bad on the first one and good on the second one, but the other.
She's way behind though.
Yeah,
I just figured 3 minutes would be enough to recover. I guess not.
Oh, Matt Burns is saying the lag sucks. I'm sorry because I can't see it. I don't see a lag. For me, it's smooth as shit.
No, I got regular YouTube streaming right next to our video, Sevan.
Let me see if I can lower the quality even more, take it down to 360. How's that? Too grainy?
What else? So these are the type of workouts we talked about. I think we mentioned yesterday, like the Ringer 1, Ringer 2. Only we have more athletes in the field here. And what you're going to see is someone like Sam Briggs, who might do really, below average on the first one, win the second one, or Laura Horvath, win the first one, below average on the second one. But I'm looking for the athlete that can take third and fourth, or second and fifth. And that's the athlete who's going to make up a lot of points on the field here.
And Briggs she was like fourth or fifth on the first one. She was in that first group.
Is that Gabby right there we were seeing? Was that Magawa right there?
Gabby's towards the middle, white top, black pants.
Oh, okay.
She's one lane. Kristen Holt is in the red shirt. One lane away from us is Gabby Magawa.
Okay.
And then on the other side of her is Laura.
So that's Jacqueline Dahlstrom in the gray pants with the ponytail?
Oh, no, I got it wrong. Laura's in the dark pants.
Laura's in last place.
Oh my God. So that was her coming off the rower. She's not ahead of everyone?
Behind. She's way behind. I haven't seen somebody blow up like this in a while.
Yeah, that's bad. Everyone was off, and she was either way.
So we're looking. So it looks like a race here between Sam. Is McKayla Norman? Kristen Holta? Holta just beat Sam.
Is that Jacqueline Dahlstrom on the outside there?
Dahlstrom or Norman?
So Holta was first. Holta and then Sam.
And it looks like Turi Helgadottir on the bottom of the screen is close to finishing. She was towards the back of the first workout. There's Norman beat Dahlstrom there on the outside. So great finish and bounce back for McKayla Norman. Dahlstrom with another good performance. These are past some of the times from the first heat, though, so there's a lot to be up in the air.
Looks like Emma Lawson took third, though. She'll climb even more.
She's either third or fifth.
Do you think this event can make it possible for somebody to beat Laura? I don't think so, but because of the scoring system.
She's got 100 points in the first one. She's going to get at worst 49 points here, so that's 149. So you need to average, all you have to do is average 75 to equal that. There'll be some girls that do that, but there won't be a lot that have much more than that. And she was coming in with a 35-point buffer.
Yeah, I don't know, buddy. I think John's onto something. Dude, Kristen Holta took first in that, and she's only 34 points behind Laura. She made those up right there, didn't she?
She may have made them all up there, but how many did she give away in the first one?
Oh, gotcha.
I don't think many.
Gotcha.
If she was in that first group, she didn't.
We will have to see.
Because five women finished within 20 seconds of each other, of the winner. And if Holta was in that one.
So that's not accurate. Why are they putting that up? That's not accurate.
These were the standings and points coming into these two workouts. There are 200 points available that we just saw, but we don't have the results for that yet. So there's quite a bit of shifting that can happen when you have back-to-back events that are both worth 100 points.
And it wasn't 100 points. She got 95. Emily Rolfe won the event.
That's right.
Oh, she did?
Either 95 or 90. I don't know between Nisler, because Nisler was right there with her too. The sprint to the end on that first event, Laura. And then I'm looking when Holta finished.
So, someone asked an interesting question here, just because I haven't seen any no reps at this event. Said, did Briggs just make Did Briggs's judge just make her do an extra rep? I haven't seen any no reps. Have you? It's similar to Rogue. They're pretty lenient on that stuff here. Actually, that's not fair for me to say. I don't know if they're lenient or just everyone's really doing well here. I'm assuming it's lenient.
So Holta got around 7th. I don't know what it was around 7th. I don't know the exact placing. Around 7th on the first one.
So maybe John is right. Let's say she got 173 points. And let's say she lost in this. So she got 90 and 49.
And that's worst case scenario.
So 139 to 173 is exactly 34 points, which is exactly the amount of points she was behind her.
That'd be so
best
great
case scenario, it could be tied going into the final between Holta and Horvath.
That would be exciting. That would be fun.
Do we know what the final event is yet?
I don't think it's been announced.
But you know what it is.
Yes.
Who wins it? Does Laura win it?
Yeah. I mean, compared to Holta, I would favor Laura.
Yeah, probably.
We'll talk about that one later on.
It'll make it fun though. It'll still be a fun race.
Yeah, and it'll be a fun event. I don't know how much time they'll have between the men's. Have they updated the men's leaderboard since event 5? Yes, they have.
They're going to come out fast, I think.
Do you want to pull up the men's leaderboard heading into this event, Sevan? Because they have updated it now.
Yeah, maybe. Do you want to do that, Souza? The men's leaderboard, and I'll just keep the stream going over here. Okay.
Since Lazar is only 14 points away from 3rd, do you think he has a shot at podium?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and he's in a situation where he has really nothing to lose. He's so far ahead of Willie George, 45 points or something. And he's not, he was 5th in this competition last time they had it. He was 9th at the games. He probably wasn't happy with how Rogue went. This is an opportunity for him to, get onto a podium at a high level competition. And I know that's really important to him. So I'm expecting him to go pretty hard and try to get a lot of points on these two. The only problem for him is that the guys ahead of him aren't going to give anything away easily. Adler has proven now over several competitions that he might not be the best at any individual workout, but he's pretty steady across the board. And so he's going to be in the mix, and it's hard to make up a lot of points on him. Ricky's the one I'm watching here because he's,
Ricky should do good in both of these. You would think maybe the biking one just because it's more of a power output, but I still think he should do good in both of them.
Yeah, the problem with a workout like this is if you go for it on the bike to try to get 2 extra spots, it can affect you. We saw how Laura was completely incapable of recovering from that, apparently. And Ricky's the guy that even though he's got he doesn't have a lot of competition experience, and knowing yourself in competition here can matter. Check like that kind of gut check I talked about in the rounds of 15. You have to ask yourself the question, what's the price that I pay for going this hard compared to this hard? So I think this is a good opportunity for us to see how he manages that in an environment where, just like Lazar wants, obviously Ricky wants a podium this weekend. So
he does seem like the type that'll just send it on the first one and just trust his ability to recover.
The morning chalk up leaderboard is prettier than the competition corners.
I kind of look for Jeff. It'd be interesting to see if he's conservative on this first one. Jeff Adler.
It probably has a lag though.
Right. Adler might do what Kristen Holta did. He might take 7th to 10th and follow it up with a top 3.
That's probably his smartest play.
Yeah, but it's tough. And these workouts, both of these workouts, there's the propensity for someone from this first heat. If we go back to the stream, they have the first heat of men listed up there, and we see guys like that you might not, they're obviously not a factor for podium or top 5 in the competition overall. But on these workouts, as we've talked about the scoring, if you can place in the top 6, it's really valuable. And let's just say that a Fabian Benito and maybe a Mahmoud or Mohamed Alomza burned this first workout down and put up some good times, or Luka Jukic or something like that. suddenly those guys in the second heat are saying, wow, I mean, those times were fast. I know there's a couple guys in my heat are fast. I have to go a little harder than I thought.
Hey, Luca's got to be proud that he's beaten Houdet. That's a good sign. I mean, he's got to look for something positive. It's a tough field.
Yeah, Luka Jukic he's really young. He's 22. This is his first, really his first season, off-season combination where he's a factor. He's getting invited to these competitions. I know that he would have loved to have made the top 20 at the games this year. He didn't, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes you have to have those little setbacks. This is a good opportunity for him to say, to show that on the last day of a competition like this, he's still fresh or even maybe getting better compared to some of the other guys. So I think he's got a lot to prove right here. I think that on at least one of these workouts, he'll be in the top 5.
It is. Go ahead, John. Okay, well, I was going to say, anyone who's here who hasn't been to the games, who's putting it to Sam Stewart or Houdet or Luca, I mean, it's a victory, even if you don't win it.
Who are you talking about, though?
I don't know who. It doesn't look like there is anyone. Has Elliot Simmons ever been to the games?
Yeah, I guess Bronislaw, though, he has been to the games, but it was in 2019 where everyone was allowed to go. And then the next guys down that haven't are Catullus, Montilla, and Moraquinho, but the only one of the guys you mentioned they're ahead of is Sam Stewart.
I guess all I'm saying is that there is it's not
actually,
just about.
Actually, Simone Montilla also did go to the games in 2019.
All right, then Lucas should kill himself. Then Lucas should kill himself. I'm sorry.
He's ahead of all those guys, though.
No, he's not.
Did Karavis go to the games in 2019?
Oh, he is.
In 2019?
Or was that Lefteris, Theophanitis, the steroid guy? I think that's the guy who went in 2019, right?
Yeah, and he finished like 70-something.
Yeah.
Did we see, was it Luka Jukic off the bike first in that first round? I think so. There's 2 guys with white shirts in the middle of the floor, but I thought it was Luka, not Yorgos. And this, I mean,
I feel like
Sam Stewart's wearing something that looks like Daniel Brandon would wear. What is that shirt? It needs to be shorter or longer. It can't be just stuck in the middle there like that.
Yeah, there's Luka.
So he's out to the lead here in the first round. Pretty significant lead through just one round.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the type of thing where he's probably thinking to himself, I have to put up a good score because the second heat is coming. And so he's like, beating these guys is at this point is not what he's thinking about. He's thinking about getting the fastest possible time.
I wonder
Lazar won that toe to bar. So you saw Emily Rolfe did really well on this workout. She won the toe to bar running workout at the games. Lazar won it for the men, but he had said that his brother was kind of injured or not feeling his best coming into that workout, and that in a different circumstance, Luca could beat him on that. So knowing that about Emily Rolfe, Lazar, and what he said about Luca, this is a workout that does set up for him, I think.
I wonder if Lazar watches Luca do events, and if Luca does well, he's like, okay, I know I'll do well.
Yes.
Yeah, they're really similar body types.
Daniel, I've been bugging Josh a lot lately. We're gonna have Eddie Penny back on. That's the SEAL Team 6 operator we had on a couple weeks ago on the Sevan podcast. I'm trying to get a podcast going with Josh and Eddie at the same time. So we'll see. For a while, Josh was real gung-ho. Just bang him in the DMs and tell him to get back on. I know he wants to, but I think his life is pretty impacted right now. Does Tolo take last?
I mean, Luca almost lapped someone in this heat.
Do you think Tola is demoralized after a competition like this?
That is a good question, and I'm a little demoralized by what I've seen from him. I'm not kidding. I mean, I projected him to take 5th place overall at this competition.
I know.
Based on the conversations I've been having with people, the work that I know he's been doing. But watch how this ends up finishing up. So we saw Luka Jukic put up a really fast time. If anyone caught his time there, They let us know. I was watching something else, but I think it was 220-ish, something like that. And towards the end of this heat, we had Tola, and I think also Alex Catoulis, here is struggling on this one. I expect Alex to be the guy who has the inverse performance on the second event. I think that he'll be top 3 in his heat on this next event, if not win it, after taking probably last on this one.
Tola's got the curse of the demo team, man. Once you see someone on the CrossFit Games demo team, you can write them off. Paul Tremblay, Allison Scuds, Taylor Self. I mean, he couldn't even hang on the demo team. He got folded in half at the ranch.
So Luca's time was 3:04.
3:04.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes me feel better.
Yeah, you said 220. I'm like, no, Brian. I don't know what you're thinking.
Is that so? So what was the record? Did Luca win that? Who won that?
He won that. He won that heat. It was 3:04.
Okay.
But 3 minutes. So he's going to have 4 minutes to recover. And when we talked about this earlier, if you can finish this event fast enough, a 1-to-1 recovery, you should feel fine. Especially guys that are this fit.
What about Travis Mayer? Oh, was Travis Mayer? Was he on the? Oh, you're right. He was on the demo team. Holy cow.
Do you remember what year that was?
I don't. 2017?
I think it was 2018. Because I remember that they had him do the parallel handstand walk live on the cover on CBS as the demo that year.
Did he eat shit or did he do it?
2018?
No. Is that the year they had that? I think it was.
That was the year they had that, yeah.
And since then, he's made the games every year. He's finished 12th, 19th, and 12th.
Go Travis. Colton Mertens is going to end up on the demo team. That's bad.
Are you surprised Laura fell off so hard?
Yes.
I wouldn't
have been surprised with the 10th place finish, but I think she got last or like bottom 3.
I think she got second to last. I went back and looked and see if anybody was ahead of her. There was one girl that was still on the rower. I am too.
Dude, what if Kristen Holta wins this competition?
That'd be a great walk-off. She should stop. She should stop doing competitions and just retire. I feel like Laura would be demoralized if that happened. If the handstand push-up event was not the reason she lost, then it's just a fitness thing.
Shit, I lost the leaderboard. Oh, there it is.
Who you got on this one between Lazar Jukic, who took first in that one, and Alex Catoulis, who took last?
Luka Dukic?
Luka, excuse me, yeah.
I think it'll be closer than you think.
Okay.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. I think Alex will do. He probably will win, but I bet it's closer than you think.
Yeah, you think about the women. The last heat of women, I thought was a really good example of this particular couplet, the rowing and burpees, is nice because you saw the top 4 women was Kristen Holta and Sam Briggs, who have, although they both have good engines, but different body types. One's much longer than the other. And then another close race for 3rd and 4th in that heat between Michaela Norman, very long, and Jacqueline Dahlstrom, who's lighter and leaner. So it could be one of those where, it's not necessarily the bigger or the smaller athlete. This is just a good overall test.
When's the final event? Did they give us a time?
They did post a time. I can't remember. Oh, I take a picture of it so I could pull that up easily for you. 7:20.
Oh, awesome. That's Pacific Standard Time?
That's Pacific Standard Time and Gulf Coast time. It just have to change the AM to a PM.
So it's in 50 minutes. So it's almost right after this one.
And what's the time cap on that?
Well, they haven't announced any parts of the workout as far as I know yet. Although
what
if someone wants
to, you already admitted that you knew what it was.
Yeah.
What's the time cap on that one?
I haven't
65
seen
minutes.
Oh, please tell me you're joking.
I'm just kidding.
I'd love for this to be over by 8:30 and I could go to my kids' tennis.
It's Atlanta, actually.
Atlanta. Yep. That's actually a very tight time cap then for that workout.
Yes, it is. I saw a guy at my gym do it with a weight vest under an hour, and it was crazy. I couldn't believe that.
It
What
took
is that
me 30
workout?
minutes just to do the pull-ups. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Oh, is that the one that from the games at the ranch?
Yeah.
That last one? Yeah, that was
Yeah.
nuts.
So buckle up, Sevan, because we're doing 2 heats of that.
2
Oh,
heats
please
of at
no.
Atlanta. Yep.
Please no.
For men and women.
What is the longest time?
So
you've
who's in
ever
the
seen?
lead here after the first round? That is Alex Catullus, isn't it?
Yeah. Or Pat Barber, I can't tell.
I don't think Pat Barber's here.
It was a joke, Sevan.
I know mine was a joke too, John.
Okay.
Yeah, and he looks composed. I think that he knew what was coming here. And I think he just basically just finished the first workout knowing that he had a chance to win this workout, Catullus.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a chance for $3,000, it's smart. It's smart to do that.
Not only the money, but if you're even just from a points perspective, like taking a first and a last is better than taking a 12th and a 12th.
Yeah.
He's all alone.
No, he's ahead by a lot. Yeah.
Look at how fast his burpees are. So these are the speed burpees that John was talking about, and he's been doing this from the start.
And I was surprised none of the women did that. These are sprint workouts. I just figured everybody would.
Yes, but consider what you said is that the amount of time to recover was 1 to 2 minutes less for the women. The amount of output required on the row is more for the women. So even though the workouts are identical, the feel of them could be a little bit different, male to female.
Yeah, very true.
Oh, 2-second error, maybe 3 seconds. He forgot to move his cone, and then when he did move his cone, he dropped it.
If he loses the event by 1 second, he's going to be really mad.
1 second, $1,000.
$1,000 for 1 second.
When you push that hard, it's stupid to make those kind of mistakes.
I mean, it was 0.2 of a second for $1,000 for Ricky Garrard in the last event. And that's the type of thing when you see people running across the finish line. I think it,
gosh, he's ahead by a lot.
Yeah,
so we should
$1,000,
track his time here.
Supplements for a month. That's supplements for a month.
But if you can see, you see his burpees here, he's not rowing faster than the field, like extremely faster than the field. It's just these burpees that are making up all the time.
You say Luca's time in the first part was 3:04?
Yes.
Okay, so 3:04 and about
4:22.
So he should be sprinting to the line here, man.
Yeah, he should have.
4:21, 4:22, something like that.
And he didn't.
And it looks like there's going to be so now we've got a close race in the middle there between Luca and Yorgos. I think Luca's further away from us.
No.
Yeah, Luca's in the darker shorts. This is really close.
Oh, Lucas said he won.
Oh. Yeah, I think he did.
And what was his time?
4:45-ish.
Okay. So we got 4:22 and then 4:45.
But
these dudes are wounded. These dudes are wounded at the finish line.
I mean, it's two 4-minute sprints. That's a long sprint.
According to Hinshaw, anything over 3 minutes, you must pace it.
And they're not.
This so that was a really good back-to-back workouts for Luka Jukic. First in your heat, second in your heat.
Mm-hmm.
Even if some guys beat that from the second, you're talking about probably something like, 4th and 8th place finishes. That'll go a long way in terms of propelling him into the top 10, hopefully heading into the last workout.
So we are 46 minutes away.
Well, we got one more heat to go.
Yeah, we got the top guys. So I got Roman in this first one and Ricky in the second one. Brian, who do you got? You got Lazar in the first one and who in the second one?
Catullus. I already told you.
That's going to be the winning time, what he did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But if you wanted me to pick someone from the second heat that's not Ricky. I do think like Ricky is the pick for the second heat, for the second workout. But if I was going to pick someone else, I would go with Adler.
I think Adler. Yeah. Okay. And then Sevan, who do you think?
I think those cones are too small. I agree. I like that. I like it. And they're the wrong color. I mean, I know they match the rest of the shit in the stadium, but we need to see them as the viewer.
It's just so funny.
I
Like
have no idea. I fell asleep 30 minutes ago. I have no business getting up at 3:50 in the morning. I'm just reading the comments. I just like it when people talk shit about me. Sevan's talking to himself. I like it. I like all the analysis of you guys bickering, or like just all the people in my DMs are like, man, the tension between you and Brian, or I can't believe John said this, or I can't believe Brian said this, or you should just kill yourself, Sevan. You don't contribute shit. It's just like, dude, I just love that shit. I'm like, wow.
They don't, the people who think that you're not contributing anything obviously have not watched the movie about Ray Kroc.
They haven't asked their mom what I contribute. They need to go over and talk to their mom.
Okay. I was saying, the value of a name goes a long way. The John podcast just doesn't going to cut it.
I have 700 followers, Sevan. That's what I'm bringing to the table.
And 70 million people with your same first name.
But you probably get
and last name, probably.
And people think you're Korean. The thing is that I might as well have 100 followers because of my shadow ban. By the way, did you see the Dave Castro is now shadow banned? Try finding
for what? What did he get? What did he get shadow banned for? Killing pigs?
Killing pigs. But what's even crazier is he kills those pigs and gives that food to people who need that food.
Is that really why he got shadow banned? For hunting stuff?
All of a sudden he's shadow banned.
Or is it for affiliating with Greg Glassman?
Or maybe, whatever.
If that's the case, Colton Mertens better be careful what he puts on Instagram then.
I know. How about Tyson Foods or whatever the company he kills pigs for?
Yeah. Hey, Sevan, can you tell Dave to unblock me?
Oh, you're blocked?
He blocked me like a couple of years ago.
Oh, I'm gonna have to block you too. Bye. You must have said something crazy. That's
yeah. I never say anything.
John is a very contentious man.
I think
my mom said you contributed shit. All right. I'll have a talk with her.
I think I just said something critical about a time cap or something. And thank you, RB. I appreciate it.
I mean, I like it that people are invested. I like the analysis. I like the comments.
Sneaky pick to watch in his first workout here is Henrik Haapalainen. I had someone from Finland message me and inform me that any Finnish name, the emphasis is on the first syllable.
So I had it right. Henrik Haapalainen.
You did so great last time with his name.
Even though you had to help me read, I wanted to call it Haapalainen. And I bet you people at home don't call him Ricky Garrard either. I bet you it's like in Australia, it's like Ricky Garrard. You got it all wrong.
Dang. Hey, guess what Craig Ritchie just snatched, Brian?
I wouldn't be surprised if he's snatching close to 275.
330.
What? 330?
Yeah, you haven't been. He's just doing weightlifting now.
I haven't been paying attention to him too much. That's a crazy
330. That's crazy, right? Good for him.
What's crazier, that he snatches 330 or that anyone watches his videos? Every time I go to this fucker, it's all fucking clickbait. And every time I go over there, it's like, have you heard about Sarah Sigmundsdottir? And the video is 12 minutes long, and it's 11 minutes of him jerking off in his house, and then like 30 seconds, like, Sarah brushed her teeth today. I'm like, oh my God, I fell for it again.
No, I agree completely, but I keep up with him on Instagram.
And now I'll tell you this, Nate, you're on the same fucking path, dude. You're on the same fucking path as that knucklehead.
One thing is, I
don't want to watch you work out. At least the guy in from South Africa or whatever, Wiki. At least he's handsome.
Wiki?
Wix
from Australia.
Yeah, that old bald dude. Yeah, I like him. I like looking at him.
All right, they are sending it on this bike. First of all,
let's go, Roman.
Yeah, all those dudes, all those fucking knuckles, and Marsden and Heber do the same thing, but at least the is that my stream or
I
your
don't think
stream?
so.
Okay, I'll stop pouting for a second. Whose stream is that?
John, is yours playing?
Yes.
I got cursed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I stand corrected. That was just clean and jerk. It was 290. Sorry.
Either way, it's impressive. He deserves a pat on the back for it.
Who's in the lead? Do we know who's in the lead?
Oh, okay. It looks like this is caught up. It's a pretty close between 3 or 4 guys. I think it's
Hapalainen
Lazar.
is sending it.
Yeah, I think it's Lazar, Hapalainen, and Roman, which are the 3 guys that we were keying in on coming in. Ricky's up there too. I just think that compared to these 3 guys, Ricky's not going to quite have it on the bike.
Dude,
But-
Hapalainen is doing. I've never seen anyone.
Hapalainen.
I've never seen anyone ride a bike like that. That was crazy.
So
Okay,
it looks
he's
like
going for it. He's really going for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lazar's right there though,
right there. Where
with Hapalainen.
ahead of who?
He is currently ahead of Roman Krinikov.
Oh, interesting.
I cannot believe Hapalainen. That was nuts. It looked like it was sped up. He looked like Frankenstein.
Listen. Where is Hapalainen from?
Finland.
He's basically a Finland Roman. Okay, so
That's Mikko Salo 2.0.
No. He's Hapalainen's. I think he's a pretty big dude. I mean, 3 or 4 inches taller than Mikko.
Where is he on the screen? I don't see him. Is he back on the
He's
bike?
near the top. He's near the top. He's in a white shirt. There, he's getting off the bike there in the background. 9 toes to bar. Lazar is going to be right behind him. They're both chasing down Lucas' time of 3:04. I think they'll both beat that. It'll be closer between Roman and that. So
Man.
hopefully they stay here on the screen.
good
I
for
think.
Hapalainen.
Oh, he's doing it. He's doing it.
So that'll be an event win for him.
And there's Lazar.
Where's Lazar?
254,
And there's Roman. Oh, Roman and Ricky?
Lazar second.
258.
Roman and Ricky, I think that's really tight with Lucas. So your top 5 will be Henrik, Lazar, and then Roman, Ricky, and Lazar, and Luka Jukic, all in some combination in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th spot.
The only person this hurts is Jeff Adler.
Well, has he
But
come
we'll
across
see.
yet?
I haven't seen him.
Who's that in red right there? Elliot
That's
Simmons.
Simmons, Willie Georges.
Oh, dude, 11
Oh,
points.
man.
11 points between Horvat and Kristen Holta.
There Adler
Woo-hoo.
is. This updated.
Yeah.
So that hurt Adler a lot unless they all die and he does amazing on this next one.
Holta went 3rd and 17th.
No, Horvath did.
Oh, yeah. What did I say? Yeah, Horvat. Yeah, sorry.
So it was almost worst case scenario then.
3rd, yeah. So 3rd was the worst that she could have possibly done in that, and 17th was the 2nd worst. So you were right about that one. Holta did 1 spot worse than we thought on the first one. She got 8th, and then she got 2nd. So Sam clipped her on that one. So it was kind of worst case for both of them relative to what we weren't sure about.
Holta has a shot.
Yeah, but if she takes 1 spot higher on each, then she's at only like 5, 8. Then she'd only be 2 points back. So either way, 11 points.
She has to beat her by 3 places, right?
Two spots.
Depending
no,
on
three.
That's
Yeah.
assuming that they're in the top 6, which I think we can assume. So
Wait, why do you say the top 6? Because then Sam could take them?
No, there's smaller points between places as you go further down the leaderboard. So if they were 10th and 13th, it wouldn't be enough points.
Okay.
But if they were 3rd and 6th, it is enough points.
And you're saying that this worked out and it looks good for Laura.
I would think so, but
Holta's not gonna be bad at it though. Like she could send it and be right there.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that one in a minute. So here we have the men have ample opportunity, like we know, to rest and recover here. They still have almost 2 minutes before the next workout starts. Some of them have been done for 2 minutes. And what we're really looking for here is, can Adler basically do what Katulis did? So he didn't have a last place finish in that workout. He's probably going to be, I'm thinking 10th to 12th overall. but he's going to need to back that up with basically a top 3 finish at worst. Otherwise,
I guarantee you he wants to beat Ricky.
Yeah, for sure. But it's not. But at this point, it's not even only Ricky, because Lazar also just had a top finish. A second place finish there, and the 15 points he was behind are wiped away. Like heading into this next workout, both Lazar and Ricky have now overtaken Adler in terms of points. So he needs to basically punch back.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun watching Haapalainen now. Did you see him shaking out his legs as he walked across? I hope that was him shaking out his legs. Either that or he's walking really funny now. This
is going to be, I think this event, this workout in this heat is going to be real tight between about 5 guys.
And what was the time that we said?
For this one upcoming is 4:21, and then a big drop off to 4:45. So,
right.
But I kind of think that the top 5 guys here are all going to come in between those 2 times.
4:20 and 4:45.
Yeah, I think Catullus was so slow on the first one that I don't know if anyone can match his output on this one. So I think that time's going to win. But I think that 5 men in this heat will finish ahead of Luka Jukic's 4:45.
Just because that first heat's just not as fit.
I kind of missed that, but are you saying that Tulis gamed it?
Yeah, he gamed
Catullus. I think so. And we talked about for the money, for the points, like it made sense for him. He sees a workout with like that where everyone's coming off of killing themselves on the bike, and it's basically for him it was a burpee. He went on the burpees. Yeah, he went on the burpees, and I would say he did exactly what I would have done if I was him in this case too. Do you like all the Whoopie lives, Sevan? You can see the heart rates of the athletes.
I unfortunately do like it. I know it's just complete horseshit, but I enjoy it. I like them all contextualized within each other. I did get really excited when we saw someone's heartbeat hit 200 yesterday.
Oh, dang.
Like, holy shit.
Mantilla.
So this is another guy who did not do great on the first part of this back-to-back workout, and he's just rode 21 calories in 41 seconds. Roman, who's amongst the best rowers, if not the best rower in CrossFit, was 10 seconds behind that. But even basic, like entry-level CrossFit coaches can tell you that going 10 seconds faster on a rower is not always the best idea. So let's see. Maybe Simon Mantilla knows his pace and strategy here really well, but it's very possible that was too fast.
Well, he also could have gamed it. We weren't watching him in the first heat. He could have gamed
100%,
it just like Catullus.
But sometimes you can game that and come out and still overdo it on the row. Like maybe if he backs off 5 seconds there, like look how hard these burpees are already looking for him.
Yeah.
I would say that I don't think he's going to hold on to this pace. I think he should have rowed
any harder than everybody else.
Oh, he's turning into concrete, dude. Look at him. He's snaking. He's doing burpees ready like a girl.
Yeah, but if he can get through the 15 still in the lead, he'll win.
Yeah, maybe. What's not good right here is that both Roman and Lazar are ahead of Adler. So
Adler doesn't look good.
Yeah, this is a problem for him in terms of podium finishes. I mean, Roman and Lazar are putting the pedal to the metal on these workouts. Ricky is struggling here too compared to what we thought.
But I mean, if Adler's also struggling, it doesn't matter. Lazar could be second place.
That's right.
Did you see what Adler was doing? He's jumping over the bar and then doing a burpee. He's losing a split second where the other guys are jumping over into the burpee. And that he's taken that little rest. He's lost that mental edge. So
Simon's still in the lead going into this set of 15 burpees. And I think John's right.
Has died. These are the slowest burpees.
Dude, he's just getting through the workout. He looks like he's in an affiliate. He looks like he's in an affiliate.
Sevan, you would beat him at this workout if
Holy
you just
shit.
Down there.
Holy shit. Oh, man. Hey.
So Roman's killing him on these burpees. This is Roman's.
Yeah, and look, I mean, Mantilla, even if Mantilla doesn't hold on and beat Roman, he still might take a good finish on this workout. But I'm going to stick by what I said. I think he could have conserved about 5 seconds on that first row and had an overall better performance in this couplet. And Roman's
finished.
Roman's passed him here, and Lazar is probably going to be 1 or 2 calories behind him. I mean, Lazar looks really fresh relative to Simone, at least on the running
And
portion. Oh, here we can
Happalainen,
actually see. So Roman's,
1600.
yeah, 16, 7. I bet he's going to get up to like 1800 to 2000. That was probably the first couple pulls.
Happalainen is getting lapped.
Wow, that's tough.
I can't believe you didn't take the opportunity there, John. Lappalainen.
Happalainen. Oh my god.
Okay, this is a race to the finish between Roman and Simone.
Look, but
and
see, he's got a kick.
come on, show the whole floor.
It's the guy on the far end
I think
and one of
Roman's
the guys
ahead.
in the middle.
Yep, there goes Roman.
Yep.
Ooh.
But
And-
I like if you think about it,
And he's
that is-
smiling, dude.
that is the best that Mantilla could have hoped for. You know what I mean? When is
No,
he
I
ever-
disagree. I think if he would have gone 5 seconds slower on the first row, that he could have beat Roman on that workout.
I don't think
I
so.
don't think he's going to be upset with the second place.
Oh,
there.
hey, Lazar came like right after Catulus's time.
Yeah, so I was wrong, and both Roman and Simone beat Catullus this time. Alex will finish third, Lazaro will finish fourth, and I think that was Elliot Simmons coming in fifth. And now we're looking at 4:45 as the next finisher.
We're
from
looking
the first
for
heat.
Ricky and Jeff.
So these guys coming in on the bottom are
Ricky-
all going to be right there.
Ricky
4:45's
beat Jeff.
passed. Yep, Ricky beat Jeff. Adler is not going to be in a podium position.
No,
I'm not sure how Willie George did, but Adler did so poorly on those two workouts that Willie might be close to him even for the fourth spot.
Dude, watch when Happalainen stands up. He's like a newborn horse. Like his legs aren't even working.
But he just made $3,000.
They don't even bend. Look at he just pivots at the oh my god, that looks painful. He's seizing up. He just pivots at the hip. Do you see that? He has to drag his legs up. Like he's like that dude in Forrest Gump, the Bubba Shrimp guy. Look at oh my goodness. He's broken, dude.
Oh man.
He's still got to go back and row. That was his set of 15.
He's
Hey,
not rowing anything. He's just
that's
getting
what-
time capped.
That's the way Colton Mertens looked in the wall climbs at the games. Like he just didn't pivot. He just his.
What do you think
pieces
about
didn't-
this
Good
face
job,
right here?
Happalainen. Good
Yeah, he doesn't even
job.
articulate. Oh, I would just be yelling at him. That's an embarrassment. I'm not okay with that. Come on, man.
He sent it on that first one. It was everything he had.
I hear you.
Well, that's a perfect example of what we said could happen, and it could happen in either direction. Have a bad first one and a good second one, or a good first one and a bad
So
second.
Roman in that got third and first, correct?
Hey, that just goes to show you can't.
Because
You
he was
can't.
right after Lazar.
Mhm.
So I want everybody to think about this. Roman got third and first. Everybody else did really good in one, except Lazar did pretty well in both of them. What did Lazar get?
Second and fourth, I think.
So Lazar got second and fourth, and Roman got first and third. Everybody else did pretty good in one and really bad in the other.
It's a great point. And I was gonna say that it's impossible to do that, and you got your piece out first, because just look, if you sell out, even if you're a world class fucking CrossFitter like Happalainen, 3 minutes isn't enough to recover. Like we just saw it. It's just not.
No, and we've seen it's not, but the thought about it being impossible is not true. We've seen it done before. We've seen Fraser do it in Ringer 1 and Ringer 2. He got second first, and he was only a few seconds behind Newberry in the first one, and Newberry did what Happalainen did on the second one. He just completely imploded.
And if somebody sells their soul, you can't beat them and then expect to still win the second one, because you would have to sell your soul to beat them.
And this is the, like, at the highest level of fitness, this is what separates the Frasers, the Toomeys, and in this case, the Krenikovs from the rest of the field is the quick ability to recover. And in this case, it's really fast, 3 minutes. But even now you have an hour before you have to go again on maybe a difficult, high skill, heavy, whatever the test ends up being. And that ability not to do that workout.
It's not that heavy.
No, I'm saying whatever the next workout is, when you have to go take the floor an hour later.
It's not an hour though, right? It's 20 minutes.
Well,
26 minutes.
I'm just talking about in competition in general. Like
Okay.
you or I could go, we could say like, okay, yesterday I showed up to the gym and I did these 2 workouts, but I was totally fresh. I was, I warmed up as long as I wanted. I hadn't done any working out yet that day. I took a nap. I had a good meal, all these things. I haven't done 6 other events in the competition, and I have my time. And if I'm sitting at home saying, oh, my time beat 2 other women, it's like, no, it didn't. Because the circumstances under which I did that workout is completely different to what's happening here. And they're really what's always been tested in CrossFit is not just your ability to compete on the floor, but then it's how do you recover and do it again? How do you recover and do it again? And the difference in time of how much time you have to recover is variable. And in this case, what we saw is Roman could do it in 3 minutes and Henrik could not.
Mm-hmm.
How
No,
about-
if people
you know
want
what-
to compare, if people want to compare, do a full training day and then do that workout. And then it's kind of close. But that's what you would have to do.
You know what else is comparable is what Kalipa did. Kalipa got 2 first. He did he won the 2,000 meter row and then he won the marathon row.
I think it's
half marathon.
I think that's
half
a
marathon.
little different, but
Yeah, it's even
but
harder.
sure.
It's even more impressive.
Okay.
Do you think anyone could have got a first? Do you think Roman could have done it the other way around? Got a first and you're saying Roman got a second and a first?
Well, Lazar did it the other way around.
What did he get?
He got second in the first one and fourth in the second one.
Yeah.
I mean,
see what
it's
you're
not
saying.
as good as first and third, but Lazar
I hear
basically
you.
did the same thing the other way around.
Yeah, I hear you. Thanks, Heidi. You're awesome. Thank you.
So what's the plan here, Sevan? I think we got.
Drink coffee, pee, eat.
Are we gonna hang up and come back? What are we gonna do?
I think we just take a 2-minute break and pee, and we just keep the same stream open.
Can we flip over to the women's leaderboard right now?
Yes, that I actually just went over there.
Because a couple I would say pretty notable things heading into the final workout. So I mean, now like we talked about, 200 points were available there. Oh, you switched over to the morning chalk ups leaderboard. Nice. We can see everything on one page except for their times. That's okay.
Thank you, Caleb.
So obviously, we talked about Laura and Kristen being within 11 points of each other, but drop down from that. Sam Briggs now has almost a 30-point lead ahead of Gabby McGowan and Jacqueline Dahlstrom.
1 second, Brian. Oh, Caleb, will you scroll down a little bit so we can see that top line? No, sorry, scroll up. I apologize. Scroll up. Just
Go Sam Briggs.
There
This
we
was
go.
a
Okay.
great competition for her.
Go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
And she talked yesterday after winning the chipper workout. She said, "This day." I think they're briefing the final event, by the way, and they've pushed it back to 7:30 from 7:20. But she said this day, the day 2 of competition, is a heavy lift. I'm obviously not going to be great. A chipper, which I need to make up my points on, and then a power output workout, which she's just like surviving it, and she took 16th on that workout. But she comes into today, and more. I mean, the ring muscle ups. I've done it with, I can't remember if it was with Bill and Chase or with Tommy and Sean, but on one of their podcasts, we talked about how Sam Briggs in muscle up workouts over her career has an incredible resume. So we'd expect her to do decently on that workout. But these are 4 or 5 minute workouts, 3 of them back to back, and she's right there in the mix. It's not just in the mix, but pulling ahead of Gabby McGowan, who just got 3rd at Rogue, and separating herself from anyone else who's trying to challenge her for that podium spot. I don't think that any of these girls can make up 30 points on her on the last workout.
I agree. For the fans out there, you can kind of see how the competition biases things just slightly. I'm not saying that Dubai's had an unbalanced fitness competition. They have, but the people who do well at Dubai is just different than the people who do well at Rogue. The competition's just biased towards a certain type of athlete. Sam Briggs has always done good at Dubai. And she's still cranking it out. And for her to beat Gabby McGowan is pretty incredible.
That's what I was thinking.
Gabby, her greatest competition is probably a Rogue Invitational. Sam's greatest competition is a Dubai CrossFit Championship. It shows how different competitions just bias towards a different athletes. Not a lot, but a little bit.
I don't know. Look at Sam's not just ahead against Gabby, but Jacqueline Dahlstrom, Andrea Nisler, and Sarah Sigmund's daughter, Emily Rolfe. I mean, Thura Helga daughter.
I'm saying you put her in the Rogue Invitational, though. I'm pretty sure she was she in the Rogue Invitational, Brian?
Sam?
Yeah.
If she was, it proves your point because we can't remember.
She finished tied for last with Jacqueline Dahlstrom.
Look, she finished tied for last with Jacqueline Dahlstrom. That's my point.
and now she's beating Gabby.
Hold on 1 second. Let's listen.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
So they just announced the workout.
We didn't
And-
want
Nine
to.
rope
We didn't want to
climbs.
hear it anyway.
Go ahead and talk. Do you want to finish their point, or do you want to talk about the workout?
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it one more time for Saud Shamsi.
That was Saud, your boy, Sevan.
Oh, that's Saud. That's not the prince.
I don't know if he's a prince or not. I just know that he is heavily involved in programming the competition, and has been for a long time.
Could be a prince. He looks like a prince.
We'll talk about the workout in a second. But yeah, when you talk about Sam Briggs and Jacqueline Dahlstrom placing tied for last at Rogue, and now being in 3rd and 5th here, and basically being on either end of Gabby Magawa, who took 3rd at Rogue, and all of a sudden everyone's giving her all this attention. If you haven't yet, go check out the article that John and I put together on Morning Chocolate that talks about this. That was, we know what Rogue bias is towards. It's not a problem. It's just you have that understanding. And when Sevan earlier was discussing eight event competitions compared to 15 event competitions, there's going to be, things like this. But there's also people like Laura Horvath who, let's say she wins
I mean,
here.
the fittest will always rise to the top. And we've always said that with every competition, the fittest will rise to the top. But for everybody that's not the fittest person in the competition, there are little biases in every competition. Rogue is strength and Dubai is endurance.
So you take Laura 4th and 1st, makes sense. You take Gabby 3rd and let's say she finishes 4th, makes sense. These are still 2 of the top 5 to 10 women in the world, no matter who's showing up to the competition. But Sam Briggs and Jacqueline Dahlstrom are a good example. With a certain set of 8 workouts, they can be in the top 5. And with a different set of 8 workouts, they can be in the bottom 5.
That's why I wish Haley didn't drop out, because she got fit that Rogue. I think she would have been amazing. I really do.
It would have been fun to watch Haley Adams here.
Like, as bad as Laura just did, I think Haley would be right there with Holta and Laura. It'd be a 3-way race for the top. And for Haley to have that kind of opportunity, that'd be awesome.
Completely agree.
And imagine if she were able to beat Laura here. To get a win on Laura for Haley would be huge.
Yeah, and Haley's just, she's similarly to what we were talking about with Adler or Lazar, is she hasn't had that breakthrough podium finish. Oh, did Adler just have?
Adler got 3rd at Rogue.
Yeah. So she's looking.
And if Adler gets 3rd in Dubai, that shows how good Adler is. Because
but Haley would be looking for that. That's a confidence thing. She's been so close at the games. She didn't quite do it at Rogue, but she could have done it here. I think that it's safe to say that she would have podiumed, if not won, this competition.
When I see when Guillermo says that he shows up to Mayhem and Haley just pounds him for fucking 3 days straight and fucks him up, I imagine it being this programming right here, just this shit that we just saw.
That's what Guillermo needs. So
you guys, it would have been amazing. I'm kind of bummed now that you guys brought up her name, that she isn't here. It would have been really, really cool to see her here.
All right, let's talk about the last event. Ryan, you want to talk about it, and then I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Sure.
No, he did it. He said you're going to talk about it, and then he's going to go to the bathroom. He went to the bathroom, and then you're going to talk about it.
This is a one round workout. So it's basically a mini chipper. You got 9 rope climbs. Do not think that there's any leg lifts or anything like that. So just get to the top anyway. 15 jerks, which basically you can read as a shoulder to overhead, I think, and 100 kilos, 70 kilos. We'll talk about that in a second. 21 dumbbell deadlifts. Those are now in pounds, 90-pound dumbbells for the men, 60-pound dumbbells for the women, and then with the same dumbbells, lunge across the floor to the finish. I don't know if they specified where you have to hold the dumbbells, if they're at the side or on the shoulder. Maybe someone who was listening earlier heard that. And I don't know the distance of the lunge, but it's basically the length of the floor. Questions about that?
Yes. So you just do 9 rope climbs up and down, and I'm assuming you can use your legs.
Yep. That's what we think.
And the jerks, it's 15 jerks at 225. Do you have to take it off the ground?
I would assume so, yeah.
Okay. Can anyone do that unbroken?
So, I think that this is the crux of this workout. The rope climbs, there'll be some people, more likely women than men, that are a little bit behind. But I think you'll basically see everyone within 30 seconds coming off the rope climbs. Men, minute 30 to 2 minutes. Women, 2 minutes to 2:30 is my guess. And then the doesn't matter how you hold it. Oh, the dumbbells. Okay, thanks, Renata. The jerks, what I immediately think about when I see this weight for shoulder to overhead cycling is the first workout from the 2020 Stage 2 CrossFit Games, where they had to do the row, buy-in, and then the pull-ups with the 5 rounds of 7 shouldered overheads, which I think was 235 for the men, maybe just slightly heavier than this. But if you remember, it wasn't that easy. Like, people, even in the first and second round, a couple of the guys, and there were only 5 guys there, were struggling a little bit with that weight. So I think you might see 1 or 2 guys who are able to do 15 in a row, but I think that a majority of them are going to take 2 sets with a quick break.
I say no fucking way. John, 2 questions I asked Brian. Do they have to take those jerks off the ground? And can anyone do it?
I would assume you have to take them off of the ground, because that gives more leeway to people who can do it unbroken. Because if you have to break it up in 2 sets and you have to clean it again, that's just an added 5 seconds. I think more than 1 or 2 people will do it unbroken.
Oh, you guys are crazy.
Because you think about it, I think more of the daughter workout they did in Dubai.
Okay, let me ask you one more question. Have you ever seen anyone go shoulder to overhead 15 reps to 225? Will this be the first time you've ever seen that?
No, if I go in the gym right now, I could do that.
Shit.
All these guys could do that.
He's not allowed on the show after this.
But beat up after a whole Dubai event, and then after 9 rope climbs. The thing is, after 9 rope climbs, I couldn't do it after 9 rope climbs, but just 1 set of 15, yeah. It's a jerk too. Dude,
you know what we're going to see? We're going to see some people drop that bar. So I'm assuming it's a front jerk, right?
How many reps did they do in that event, Brian, the one you're talking about?
5 rounds of 7.
So 35 reps.
Yeah, so
35 reps, and 3 of those guys went 34 unbroken with 10 bar muscle ups in the middle. It's only 15. It's 1 set, and then you don't have to do anything. With the jerk, I'm saying.
We're going to see some 10, 11, 12, 13 lowerings, 14 lowerings that are going to be just brutal. Like, dudes just dropping it in their front rack. It's going to be nasty. We might see broken collarbone.
We've had thrusters with 225 before, and people did 9 thrusters unbroken.
Nice.
In the middle of a workout. So I don't think everybody will do it, but I think 5 to 7 people will do it unbroken.
I wasn't really sure how hard this workout would be. I reached out to a friend of mine who's a competitor in CrossFit and asked him, and they seem to think that this jerk's going to be a little bit more of a problem than anything else in the workout. So maybe they'll be doing them unbroken. But I think that for a lot of the guys, if that's the case, that those last 3 to 4 reps are going to look very difficult. They're going to be taking some time in between reps, holding it on the front rack. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple failed 14th and 15th reps like Sevan's talking about.
We're going to see something nasty. I hope we get to see it too.
I bet we see a ton of fails too. I bet 5 to 8 guys would be able to do it. Hey, Susan, can you go to Roman's page real quick? Roman's Instagram.
Hey, so are we going to see any grip issues on those 21 dumbbell deadlifts? That's 180 pounds.
I think for the deadlifts, I think that people can mostly just grind those out. I think what you'll either see is that they'll do a set of 20, drop, and then do a set of the last one before they lunge, or that you'll see one additional break. Like you'll see them do 10, rest, 10, rest, 1, go.
Well, this guy wants to know. Look at this comment. Could Rich do it unbroken? Dude, you say some great shit. You've got to change your name. You
All right,
say
go down.
Of course, Rich could do it.
Down. Okay, to the left. Right here, that one. This is 330 for 5. Oh my gosh, you can't play it.
Is that some chick that's hitting on him?
He does 330 pounds for 5 push jerks.
Okay,
You're
let's
telling
see
me
it.
225 for 15
let's see
could
it.
Be a problem?
He couldn't play it. I'll play it. Hold on. That's insane.
John, we're talking about Roman. Like, we're talking about Roman as a top 5 fittest guy in the world.
Is
Potentially.
Roman one of the strongest guys in the field?
I'm going to see if I can play that.
I'm not saying
He was
I'm not
fifth strongest on the lifting.
I'm not saying who will do it the fastest. I'm just saying more than you think will do it unbroken.
Oh, he got it. He got it. This is 330.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Now listen, Roman is not one of the strongest guys in the field. He's strong. He's worked on it a lot. We've talked about it a lot.
Is he standing up all the way at the top, in between those? What's going on with that posture?
But I'm saying if he could do 330 for 5, you think
Oh,
225 for 15
God. That can't be good for your back.
is going to be a problem?
Hey, that's why this stream is better than all the other streams, because we get to see stuff like that. Sorry. I said it. Fine. Good job, Caleb. That was dope. I don't know. Does that translate? What is that? So you're saying 50, you're saying we watch that, and so 100, he's going to do it. We're asking him to do 3 times the work with 105 pounds less, with 1/3 the weight. Oh, the math works out kind of nicely. We're lowering the weight by 1/3, but we're tripling the work.
And I could be wrong. I think more than you. I think more than 1 or 2 guys will do it unbroken.
Okay, this is good. So here we have the men's leaderboard.
Well, whether you're right or wrong, it's cool that you had us look at that, because that really fucking helps the conversation.
Yes, thank you, John. So Roman, but it turns out Roman also could do singles on this workout and still win the overall competition, because even if he takes last place, even if he took last place twice, I'm not sure that anyone could catch him. So this is a victory lap for Roman, which is not the case on the women's side. And for the really what we're looking at here is Lazar and Ricky for 2nd and 3rd. I think with the points that Adler just gave away, that he's locked into 4. He's 40 points behind Ricky, and 40-something points ahead of Yorgos.
So many points on that. 15th and 11th. Is that what that says?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was not good enough. And when I was talking about him prior to that workout, I said that I didn't think he would do that. I thought if there was anyone who wouldn't do that, it was him. That was surprising. Anyway, so Lazar and Ricky are going to be kind of, I would say, the featured matchup here to watch. And I
kind of think Lazar's got a decent enough gap.
It's all for Lazar. It's about the shoulder to overhead. He needs to, and all that he needs to do is manage those 15 reps in the optimal way for him, and not worry about anyone else, because he does have a little bit of a cushion. So if Ricky's 2 spots ahead of him, that's fine. If he risks it and blows up, then that's where Ricky can overtake him.
I don't think Lazar will go unbroken.
What's the time cap?
I'm not sure if they've. I'm sure they've posted it now on that whatever page you're looking at before, but I wasn't.
Is it 8 minutes?
Let me ask you a question. If Jeff wins this workout, what would have to happen for him to be 3rd? Because I think Jeff has a fair shot to win this workout.
29 points.
Hey, dude.
8th
I want to
place
say one thing.
gets 71 points. So he would, if Ricky took 8th and Jeff won, then they would tie on points and it would default to tiebreaker.
I think someone could get themselves in a position where they get.
And Ricky
time
would win
here.
then, correct?
Well, Adler would have this event win, and his next best finish was 3rd.
And Ricky
had 2 event wins, so yes. So, but if Jeff won and Ricky took 9th, then Jeff would get back on the podium.
Lazar is pretty much locked into a podium.
I don't know, man. Oh,
not necessarily, but
let me play this.
Tough.
Let me play this situation for you. He gets to the 10th rep, Lazar does, and he goes for it and he fails.
That's an execution error, and that's on him.
That's my point.
It takes him a minute to regroup, and he tries to finish again, and he can't, and he fails again, and it takes him 2 minutes now to regroup. We're gonna see someone really get 5 fails in a row here.
I just think it's a real possibility. Jeff, this is a good workout for Jeff. Jeff's a great rope climber, and he's very strong. I think it's a good possibility that Jeff could win. I kind of think Roman will still win the event. But Ricky comes in 8th or 9th, and Lazar has one of his worst finishes. I think all of that could happen.
And it's a good, this is a good example of where guys like Ricky and Lazar specifically are hoping Roman wins, because that's 5 points that Adler can't get, which makes it that much more difficult for him to climb back onto the podium.
Okay, let's talk about number 12, 13th, and 14th place taking first, second, and third in this workout. Let's talk about Houdet, Tola, and Bronislaw being in the top 5. In
The
this
rope
workout.
climbs will hold them back enough, I think.
Let's just say this. Combined, the three of them have 3 top 5 finishes, or 4 top 5 finishes on the week. And the 3 of those 4 came in the 1 rep max lifting test, and Braun took a 5th on event 4. So I don't like their chances of finishing in the top 5.
Combined. Can you tell me,
Why?
Brian?
What do you think the limiting factor is for them? They're going to be good at all of that: lunges, shoulder to overhead, and deadlift.
They're just not fit enough, Sevan.
Oh, okay.
It
How
just
about even Houdet?
This has been a bad competition for Houdet. I thought he would do a lot better than he has.
I'm going to say 2 of those 3 guys will be in the top 5. I'm just going there.
Okay.
And one of them will beat Lazar.
Heard it here first.
Yep, you heard it here first. Man, Mahmoud's not doing so good. He's still got a cool name, but...
So how do we think it's going to play out for the women? Have we talked about that?
Oh, what is the weight for the women? Is it 185?
70 kilos.
155.
And this is notable because when we talked about that first cut event from the games where
That's gonna
CrossFit
smash Sam Briggs into the ground.
Well,
CrossFit-
you get heavy DT.
But CrossFit intentionally left the women's weight lighter for the barbell, for the shoulder to overheads in that workout relative to the men's. And a lot of people were pointing that out in the build up to that competition, saying, why is this the case? Why don't they have the usual spread weight wise? And then we saw the workout play out, and it turned out to be perfect. And, obviously Dave had done his homework there and understood that was the appropriate weight relative to the men's weight for them to have a similar expression on the floor. Here, the weight for the women is heavier than it was for the women at the games that year. So I would expect the women to have a harder time with this barbell relative to the men than they did at the games.
Oh, I disagree again. I think.
Wait, before you talk, John,
no.
I want to understand what Brian's saying. You're saying that 155 is going to be heavier for the women than 225 for the men. We're going to see less women make it unbroken. Okay, sorry.
And I think that John is only thinking about the top women. I'm talking about the field as a whole.
Well, I think the field as a whole is a weak field.
Ouch.
It is. You think it's very weak. I think half of the women are games caliber athletes at least, but
Let me
there's
ask
a big
this,
spread.
Not weak in fitness. Not weak in fitness. Like weak in strength is what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Can any of those women do it, guys? Can you name even one woman?
So, I mean, Brian's right.
Right?
Brian's right. I am just thinking about the top women because I think of workouts like heavy DT. And if you could do heavy DT and all those push jerks unbroken, which is 155 for the women, and Sarah was able to do that, Laura's going to be able to do that. Even somebody like Holta, I think, could do that. I think you could be able to do these 15 jerks unbroken. Gabby's going to crush this.
No, I disagree.
You don't think Gabby's going to crush this workout?
She might crush it. I don't think any of these women. I'm leaning more towards what you're saying. I don't think any of these women are going to do 155 unbroken. And if anyone does, it's going to be like Nisler. It's going to, but I don't.
Nisler will crush this. I bet 10. Oh, I'll say 8 women. 8 women will do an unbroken. The push.
Wow.
What do you say, Brian?
Hey, there's people who aren't going to finish this in the women's class.
But I mean, that's also possible.
What's her name? Michaela Norman. She's not finishing this. She might even sit on her bar and pull up a bag lunch. She's not finishing this. Oh, what about Thury?
She's an excellent weightlifter. I don't know how this weight will feel for her because they're not single reps. It's kind of Yeah,
Technique's going to be important here, huh?
I think brute strength goes a little bit longer way when it's just one set.
Who has the max shoulder to overhead in this group? Is it Laura?
Probably Laura or Nisler, but probably Laura. Laura and Nisler are both similar.
It would be fun to see the results from whoever tested this from their demo team.
It would. I don't know if they have a demo team because we've seen a bunch of workouts that have not gone planned correctly.
Really? Outside of the first two?
Well, I think they thought the ring muscle up and thruster workout was going to take a lot longer because of the 10-minute time cap. And it was under 5 minutes for everybody. And then the time cap was super tight for the men on the chipper workout.
Oh, was that event number 2?
I think it was event 3.
Event 3. Yeah, that was you're right. You're right. Yeah, a lot of dudes got capped unnecessarily. Thank you, barbelljobs.com, for allowing us to quit our day jobs and work full time talking. You quit your day job yet, Brian? You full-time podcaster?
You know, the opportunity was just so lucrative, I couldn't turn it down.
No one wants to talk about how Sarah will do, I think.
Sure.
I think Sarah will be really good at
All
this
right.
one.
Cancel that. Go ahead. Tell me.
Brian, how many girls do you think could do it unbroken?
Laura, Gabby, Sarah, and maybe Andrea.
Is could the same as will?
If NS and possibly like Angonis. So I say 5.
So I'll say,
yes,
I'll
I
say
forgot
5
about
to 8,
Angonis.
5 to 8 on both men and women. Like I'm probably overshooting it when I say 8, but 5 to 8 on men and women, I think. Who do you think? You think Laura's going to win this one? I think Sarah might have a shot. It'd be nice if Sarah could win.
Yeah, I think this is one of those workouts that I'm hopeful that it'll be kind of a little bit of a lunging race to the finish. I would say Laura, Gabby, and Sarah are the top 3 for the women on this one.
Yeah, I agree.
And this is now, still we're assuming these are allowed to use their legs on the rope climbs. But if that is the case, Gabby McGow is pretty good on rope climbs with her legs, and we're still waiting for another competition to see if she's improved her legless rope climbs. Yeah,
probably won't happen until the games. I don't know. The qualifier had it.
Yeah, and there's always we don't know what's going to happen with the semifinals next year. We don't know if it'll be uniform programming or custom programming, depending on where you go. And especially if it's custom programming by the event organizers, then I think pretty much everything's on the table. Sevan is
Eric, I was referring to an event, not the competition as a whole.
What did he say? Oh. I don't think the walking lunges are an issue for Sarah. I think that she's past any of the stuff that's really problematic for her.
That split jerk that she did on the clean and jerk, I think, was the biggest test for her, that running downhill.
John, if Sarah finishes, let's say she finishes right where she's at. Let's say she finishes 7th in this field. Is that a successful weekend for her?
100%. I really think she was just trying to test her body out in an atmosphere that was a competition atmosphere, because it's hard to trust your body fully after a surgery like that. And I think after this competition, she will, and she'll just be able to train all the more harder for it.
Yeah, and just look at her overall results: 7th, 14th, 4th, 11th, 4th, 7th, 4th, 6th. So she's got a lot of finishes that are 4th through 7th.
Very
which
consistent.
which and you do like keep in mind, Laura Horvath is arguably the second fittest woman in the world, and Gabby McGow is the top 5 right now. And Kristen Holta is still obviously very good. And those women are up there in the top of a lot of these workouts. So for Sarah to be just behind that on several of these tests is a great place for your first competition back. So I agree with you. This has been a positive weekend for her. It would be cool if she won this event or is right towards the finish of it, and a nice little way to end her weekend.
I would love for her to win. Now I'm rooting for it. I didn't even really think about her winning, but now I really, really want her to win.
Yeah, and then it's something that she can build on. She doesn't have to do a ton of off-season competitions. Just being able to do one, to do it well, to do it in a place where she's comfortable and happy against some women that she's used to competing with. I think it's really a really good thing for her and for the women's field this season upcoming.
Yeah, and I do think I don't know her mindset, but I think she could train without any limitations, mental and physical, after a competition like this. Doing that uphill and then downhill run is literally the scariest thing for somebody to do coming back from an ACL injury. So the fact that she was able to do that, she was able to clean and jerk.
And that run up and down the hill, I mean, that was her worst event finish, right? So it's not that surprising because she's going to be the last person who's willing to kind of leg it out on a downhill snow run.
Yeah.
Oh, Eric's throwing a dagger in our heart. Did you guys already talk about this?
We haven't talked about it.
No.
We do think Haley would do really well at this competition as a whole.
But not this workout. This would crush her, right?
I think she could do it. She would do it in 2 sets.
Yeah, so she just have to be, kind of like we talked about with Lazar, is approach that barbell with your plan, execute your plan, and then just, do your thing on the rope climbs, do your thing with the dumbbells and the lunging, but don't screw it up on the barbell. And so Haley would have to implement something similar. Yeah,
I think she could get top 10 in this workout as long as she executed her plan.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you. Thank you, Melissa. Hey, listen, guys. Brian will never be a professional the way he treats that microphone. Don't ever anyone ask if he's done professional broadcasting again. Look at that. Disrespectful to the mic.
You think this is good on the side like this?
Could be. And everything's good. Everything's good.
But Haley's very good at moving anything that's not a max weight for her. As long as it's not a max out, Haley's very good at moving a barbell. It's the top end strength that she doesn't have.
Yeah, that's what MJ Miles is saying also. Do you have any Instagram clips of her, John, doing some crazy shit? 225 for reps? Yeah.
No, not for Haley.
Should be looking about 2 minutes out, and I am hoping that they've reseeded for the final.
What is this? What is this guy saying? So they gave Briggs the win in Athlete's Choice Part B because they made her do an extra burpee.
I'm not listening to the coverage, so there could be some information like that we don't have. I think they're wearing chip timers, and I would assume that that's what they're taking the results from.
Well, it isn't. They do have her in first place over Holta. But she crossed the finish line before Holta.
They're saying that they made her time like 2 seconds faster because she had to do an extra burpee. I think that's what the comment is saying. I don't know if they actually did that, but
what I think, Sevan, is that on the floor Holta crossed before Briggs, but she might have appealed it and said, well, my judge made me do one extra burpee. And if that's the case, usually, they'll have rules in place for how to handle appeals that the athletes and coaches will all be familiar with. But assuming that that's a legal appeal, then they'll look at the footage, they'll go back and they'll say, yes, she did have to do one extra burpee. A burpee takes her 2 seconds, so we're going to credit her 2 seconds. Like, that's something that could potentially happen.
And the difference between them is just over.
Do you want to pull up the live stream? Tommy and Derek are previewing the final event.
Sure, let's do it.
I see what you mean about the stickers. I didn't know what you were talking about. So just
quick one. We've got a time cap of 8 minutes, and you see the weights 100 kilos for the men.
Can you guys hear it?
For the women on the push jerks, 90 pounds, 60 pounds on the dumbbells for the men and the women, respectively. Should be an exciting one, Tommy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the crux of this really feels like those 15 jerks. I was talking to a few athletes backstage just now during the break, and a lot of them, I asked, I was like, hey, how do you feel about this finale? They're like, man, 15 jerks? They couldn't have made it 12? I'm like, wow, if you're really worried about those 3 extra reps, that must be significant based on how they're feeling right now, especially after that back-to-back.
So that's, basically what he's saying is what we were expecting, is that the barbell is going to be the crux of this workout, and that athletes feel that and know that going into it. You won't see a ton of separation on the rope climbs because most people will be thinking about that. And those last couple reps are going to be the make or break for several athletes. And you'll have to have, a couple people will have to risk it. Like Adler has to go for an unbroken set, and Gabby probably has to do the same. But guys like Lazar and Sam Briggs, they can kind of game it a little bit to their own, because they know they have a little bit of a points buffer.
And Holtza could go for it, just because she has a chance and she has a buffer on Magawa and Sam, so she probably will go for it. Even if I don't know if she can or not, but she probably will.
And they had no, that's not the heat assignments. This is just the overall standings. It's we were talking about the fact that if Roman wins the workout, that's 5 less points that a guy like Adler can get. And so, the nice, I like the fact, I like it when competitions, when the athletes are able to finish all the tests, because there's still the potential that there's someone in the first heat that has a relevant performance that makes it that much harder for someone, or that much easier for someone to make up whatever they need to in the last workout. So I want to see here.
And Braun make a difference between Lazar and Adler and Gerard. It will make a difference.
For sure. And I just want to see, I'm really hopeful that they've reseeded the athletes here, because I think especially in the last workout, that is something that you've earned. You earned the right. If you're in the top 10 going to the last workout, I think you deserve to be out there on the field with the top 10 athletes. Seems like they're a couple minutes behind here in bringing the athletes out, but we should have that answer soon.
I can't believe I can't see my breath. My room is so cold. Hey, I think Lazar's in trouble. Like he really has to be smart here. He doesn't fuck himself.
Where's your red hoodie?
I know I almost put it on, but I got like a hoodie on. I just need to bring a heater in here. I mean, my office is detached from the house.
They relegated you out there.
Nah, I come out here. Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so the girls are taking the floor, and I think I did see Michaela Norman in this heat, which means that, yes, they've reseeded for the final. So of the women that are in this heat, John, any ones that you think could impact like the top 5?
Magnon Anganese. I think she could go unbroken on the push jerks, and I don't think anybody else will, but I do think she will. If y'all remember, she was the one who was doing the sandbag unbroken, or big unbroken sets in the chipper.
The touch and goes.
Yeah, she's very strong. And if girls cannot do it unbroken, that will be a big difference.
Assuming that the rope climbs are mostly negligible here, I'm curious to see how Evie Hollis does. She's, I would say, has had an underwhelming performance to what I was expecting or hoping from her this weekend. She was 6th placed in the semifinals, almost made the games. We've talked about it this year, how hard it is to make the games as a woman in Europe. So that performance was incredible. And she's, there's got to be something that she's pretty good at. She's not the tallest athlete. She seems to be pretty strong. So maybe this is a workout where she can cycle that barbell well, a little bit less range of motion on deadlifts and lunges. So I would say Angonese is one to watch, and maybe Evie Hollis.
I think 5 girls get time capped in this one, in this heat. Yep.
It's very possible.
Sevan's known to overestimate the athlete's abilities.
Overestimate or underestimate?
Joking. Now, I don't want people to underestimate these rope climbs, because they will finish close to each other after these rope climbs. I don't think anybody will have a significant lead, but the amount of out of breath that you will feel after. I mean, go do 9 rope climbs for time. It's not easy. You're out of breath after, even if you can go 9 in a row.
This is a great shot here where you can see how tall and long Michaela Norman is. She gets that little jump up. She pulls her knees high to her chest, and she's going to be able to stand up and touch the beam in 2.5 pulls at most for a majority of these rope climbs, where a lot of the other women are going to need 3 pulls.
How tall is she? Do you know?
She's 5'10". Yeah.
2 pulls makes such a big difference for the women.
Yeah. I pretty much I'm always trying to do as few pulls on rope climbs as possible. Martine Solheim, also fairly tall. Both these are she's from Norway. Michaela's from Sweden. So, they should look pretty good on the rope, but I still think that you'll see 30 seconds at most between anyone on these 9 rope climbs.
But they're going to be taxed differently is what I'm saying.
Sure. Yeah.
What do you mean differently than the men?
No, from each other. They're going to finish close to each other after the rope climbs, but some will be very out of breath and very tired, and some will not.
I think this is the last rope climb for Norman here, so 145-ish. She's walking to her barbell.
You think we'll see single cleaning jerks?
I think you're going to see her struggle right now with the barbell.
Dude, look at even that clean.
Squat clean it.
I mean, it was so wide. Oh, my bad.
Yep. Oh, she's going to go for some more. What if Michaela Norman did it unbroken? I would laugh so hard. She's not going to, but I would laugh so hard.
15 split jerks in a row?
Yeah.
This is a good example. She's going to have a plan for this barbell. And we won't get to see here how many reps she ends up doing, but
she's
probably
still going.
She might think she can do it in 2 sets.
But that's what I'm saying.
Look at the bottom of the screen. Look at the bottom of the screen in the white. Here's someone who's got. I think that's Julie Hugard.
Oh my God, they're so much more impressive than I gave them credit for. This is nuts.
But remember what Tommy said is that it's not the first 3 reps; it's the last 5.
And I mean, they're still
reps.
breaking it up. Nobody's just cranking it. It's the amount of breakups too. It's why Michaela Norman is taking her time and trying to get that huge set, because if she can do it in 2 sets, she did not lose very much time. It's the amount of breaks that you take.
And you're thinking about rope climbs, 9 rope climbs. It's not like rope climbs are not pull-ups. It doesn't happen instantaneously, and that took almost 2 minutes. And now we're looking at the barbell, and let's see here. It seems like it's going to be a similar amount of time.
Look at Anganese in the dark.
Dude, mayonnaise is killing it. Oh my goodness. That's how I do 65 pounds.
Yeah, but even she put the barbell down there in the back.
She did.
So far through this
Why
meet,
did she do that? She was killing it.
And it might just be, there
is someone.
She did a smaller set than Norma.
So Julie Hugard, who was looking good at the bottom of the screen earlier, seems to be the first one to advance to the dumbbells. And it looks like they have to advance them. I'm guessing they have to advance them every 7 reps. So far, she's held on the entire time. I think she'll drop them in some point in this set, because I would want to set myself up. Okay, Michaela Norman did make it through the barbell, and she's still towards the front of this heat. So it's Hugard, Norman, and Manu Nangonese. And what I'm thinking is that they're going to do the last rep before they start lunging. Oh, they have to advance it to this. Oh, okay. So I don't know how often they're advancing, because now they've advanced 4 times, and 4 definitely does not go into 21 evenly.
So for what's her name? Michaela
Norman.
Michaela Norman. For her, this was a rope climb.
She just finished. She just finished her. So she might finish the workout, Sevan.
Yeah, she's killing it. I'm crazy impressed. Oh,
but if you look at Anganese, we could
you see that fail. Did you see her fail right there?
Yes, that makes me wonder if we were given inaccurate information. If they could hold the dumbbells any way they want, it seems like they're. Why would she be doing that if she doesn't have to? So I'm guessing they have to put them in the front rack. Yeah, Julie Hugard's got them in the front rack. So this is the standard. And now they've got 60-pound dumbbells on each shoulder, lunging down the line. And that far line should be whatever that distance is, how far they have to go.
Hey, she cannot put it down. If she puts it down, she's not going to get it back up.
Yeah.
Michaela Norman.
That's right. I mean, no one's gonna want to put this down if they don't have to. And this is what we're kind of hoping for, and what an event programmer organizer is hoping for with this kind of finish, or this
that
kind of
girl's
style.
catching her on the lunge.
What's the weight on
I
those
think
dumbbells?
that's Rebecca Vidison. They're 60 pounds each. So Julie Hugar finished. We have no idea what her time was because we couldn't see it, of course. But then Rebecca Vidison's going to take second here, 5:44. Several girls right behind her, Norman, Angonis, both underneath
So
the
Michaela Norman
5:50
finished
mark.
in 5:50.
Crazy. Who would have thought? Not me.
But so we might just be underestimating the workout, because Angonis did not need to put it down, and she still split it up in 2 sets. And that was just, I think that was just for the workout, so she wouldn't, to manage it the best that she could. Like, because she was definitely capable. She was cranking those.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what Sam does, huh? Sam Briggs here.
I mean, she should do this similar to Michaela, I would think.
I'm gonna kind of assume that Julie Hugar was in the 5:35 range based on what we saw there, and so we've got 4 times, basically 5:30-ish to 5:51. That could, those are the things we're going to be looking at in terms of potentially relevant for the final heat and the podium races.
5:30.
Yeah.
Renata apologizes, Brian, for the misinformation.
That's okay. It was not that kind of information is the stuff that Dubai is notorious for withholding until the last minute. So we knew, I knew 2 weeks ago that there were handstand push-ups and there were a set of 10. I had no idea what the standard was. I knew until today that there were rope climbs and lunges, but I didn't know what kind of rope climbs or lunges until they started working out. I mean, we would have known, obviously, if we'd listened to the announcement, but they like doing that where they have a majority of the information out there, and then they withhold one little detail here or there that's usually a critical or important detail until right before the workout starts.
Look at this girl closest to us on the screen. She's actually just has the dumbbells resting on her shoulders by the grip.
Yeah,
and if that's allowed, that is the easiest way to hold them.
Oh, that must hurt so bad. That must be so uncomfortable.
You did see there, she shuffles her feet a little bit in between reps. That's the type of thing that you would not be allowed to do at the games, that you often do get away with in competitions like this. And obviously she's towards the back of this heat and just barely beating the time cap. But when you're looking at the overall judging, that's the small stuff that wouldn't go at the games.
Good point. Great observation. You're talking about in between lunges, like regrouping your feet and then scooting ahead a couple inches instead of just stopping exactly where your feet are planted.
Yeah.
And do they tell them in Dubai? Do they tell them ahead of time? Hey, like I think in Rogue in the Legends event, the judges are told, "Hey, chill, be chill." You think they're told here, "Be chill"?
No, I just think that it's probably the people who are judging at this competition only do 1 or 2 a year, and this is clearly the highest level one that they'll do. So it's not. Everyone knows it's not easy to judge. Ever. And it's especially difficult when you're doing it for athletes that or respect or have heard about or are the best in the world.
Shoveling your feet, not going below parallel on squats, just Dubai stuff. Ouch, Will. Ouch.
This is so this is a cool shot right here. 2 from Denmark, 1 from Norway, 1 from Sweden. So that Scandinavian representation, and they're all having a good time.
Brian, when you went to this event, was the crowd?
Oh, it looks like they're going to go the first heat of the men and then the final heat of the women, final heat of the men.
That is true, actually. It does look like that.
How was the crowd when you were there, Brian? Was it more or less than this?
Similar, though. When I was there, I was never once on the floor during a workout. I was in the production truck helping with the broadcast.
But similar in terms of crowd?
Yeah, that back area always fills out, and then the sides are 50%, and then where this camera is, there's probably no one in those section of seats.
And who are these people in the crowd here? Do these people live are these expats? Are these people who live in Dubai? Americans, Canadians, Australians?
I think this
Europeans?
year, more so than in previous years, most of the people attending are probably local to, if not the city, the area. And then, family and coaches and friends who've made the trip. But I don't think that there's a lot of fans who just decided to go over there for this year compared to previous years.
And they do this event. Is this because the Crown Prince or whoever's got the dollars, he is a CrossFitter?
I don't know if he's a CrossFitter or not, but I know that he enjoys watching high-level CrossFit competitions. And so he, years ago wanted to make this one of the events that he could bring to Dubai every year. And he does a couple others. I think that they might do a horse racing event and a falcon hunting event. And it's probably one of, if it's not one of the guys that's sitting in that red area you were talking about, then it's one of their relatives or something like that.
So it's not directly because it's right. Right. What's up, bosses? And I wonder what that means, that one of the guys in a brown robe. That means he's single? And the dude in the white robes were married? I bet you it's something like that.
What would happen if somebody's running up them stairs and just spills a drink on them?
A hot coffee?
Yeah.
Then you would read the stain on their robe like tea leaves. It would be just like you would tell the future by the way the stains hit their robe. Or you would immediately run from there and get on the internet and go to barbelljobs.com. What if I did this? Bam. Bye-bye. Yes, the Crown Prince is very fit. He does a lot of fitness events. That's what I had heard. That's what
pretty
I had
cool.
heard.
That's a pretty cool thing.
Hey, his Instagram, if that's the guy, man, he's a beautiful man. He's got his shit going on. And he's a dad, and he just seems like he's got it going on. Let's see if we can get an overlay here. Bam. Uh-oh.
Sevan, when have you ever had your hair like that?
Where? What? Like how?
In the little thing that Will puts up.
Oh, like the man bun?
Yeah.
I never.
So that's not supposed to be you then?
No, that's definitely me. I definitely recognize me. Maybe it's not a man bun. Maybe it's a yarmulke, even though I'm not Jewish.
I thought that was your chakra.
Ah, yes, it's a chakra.
It's
He's
so
a runner
powerful.
mainly, but does a lot of other sports. Say that again.
Such a powerful chakra that everyone can see it, regardless of your spiritual enlightenment.
Look how pretty this lady is, Melissa Odier. That's Armenian for you. Look at she could be one of the Kardashians. Oh, she probably didn't like that though.
All right,
Thank you,
I think the
Ross.
first heat of men is getting ready to start, and they've hopefully have reseeded. So, John, you're liking Tola and Braun to maybe put up the time to beat here?
Yeah. Maybe Hude.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the type of thing where, like, I would love to see someone like Fabian Benito or Moritz Fiebig, like, take a
go for
risk.
it.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
try it. Why not? What do you have to lose?
Do what Hapalainen did.
Sure.
100%. I feel like Bronislaw will go unbroken no matter what. Even if it was 315, he would try to go unbroken. Moritz is pretty strong too, yeah?
Yeah, it's like, I honestly, like, it seems like they should be able to move this barbell well, but I just think that end of the weekends, the combination of everything, that it's just a little bit heavier than you're expecting. And
after doing thrusters and ring muscle ups, you feel that on your muscles. It's all the same muscles.
I hope they keep this wide shot for a little bit so we can see different rope climb techniques. Like you saw Moritz just run and jump up there, and now his rope's all over the place. And you saw Andre Houdet, very calm and meticulous, approach his rope and set his feet before jumping.
Houdet kind of reminds me of a very young Fikowski.
Yeah, and watch. I mean, if you're watching him, he's there in the middle of the screen with the red shirt. Like, this is a very efficient rope climbing. He's only doing 2 pulls, but they're aggressive and fast. So his time under tension is low. Like, you can do 2 pulls like Michaela Norman, but you're on the rope for twice as long as Huday's 2 pulls.
This month, Dubai government is giving $125 for any 1 kilogram lost by a person. Wow.
I feel like that's that's
man.
well, whatever. I'll just let that one go. So I'm
drop
thinking
10
90
pounds.
seconds is going to be the time here for most of these guys to do 9 rope climbs. I think that like 6 per minute is kind of an expected thing for elite level men with rope climb. And there won't be a lot of separation. I think everyone will be over to the barbell by the 2-minute mark.
I wonder if the United States has ever done anything in the last 2 years to help promote health. I mean, we know it's done massive to promote sickness and death and mayhem and suicide and anything bad. I wonder if it's done a single thing to help its citizens like that.
I'm surprised Tola is not better at things like this, like high volume rope climbs. Because
Dude,
so
he's
good at
barely moving.
gymnastics. And I know, and like the way he moves on these, they just don't look good. And I know he's good at this stuff.
So these guys are a little slower than I expected getting to the barbell. And you see, I think that's Sam Stewart. He's actually strapping up a weight belt. Moritz has got a weight belt on. So these guys are definitely a little bit wary of this barbell. But now Sam's repping this out pretty good. So this looks like kind of how Manuel Nagonis or Julie Hugar was moving it. They still did 2 sets. So we'll see if he goes for it.
5 bigs on 11.
I hope that they go for
12.
it here.
Look at Houdet. Houdet's just smashing this.
Yeah, but he's putting the bar down.
He did. You're right.
Look, 5 big went slow and he just went unbroken. Moritz 5 big. And he was slow and controlled like the whole time.
He did all 15?
Yeah.
Wow.
But not very many of the guys have. Sam Stewart's cycling the bar well. Andre Houdet cycling the bar well. Neither one of them is opting to go for 15.
I mean, it might not be the smartest thing to do it unbroken.
Maybe not, but I think for this,
Tolo just
and 5 bigs made a mistake here. He's moved his dumbbells way too far, and now this guy's telling him to move them back, and he's not happy about it. But that's execution error in competition. No, I think these guys here, like, why not? Like we said before the heat started, why not risk it? So I love that Moritz did that, even if it doesn't work out for him. I like that he took the chance. I think that when you were talking earlier about Sam Briggs potentially overpacing, Houdet looks like he's overpacing this workout for me, especially compared to where he is in the competition. Like he's probably not that happy that he's not in the final heat for this one, and he has the opportunity to reassert himself and get into the top 10.
Back he is,
but not going at this pace. Yeah, it's only a 5-minute workout. You got to push it a little bit more than this.
Like he looked fitter at the games than he does now, like a lot fitter.
Well, and keep in mind that he did withdraw from Rogue, whether it was illness or injury, whatever. So,
that's right.
But you look how that paid off for 5 big. He's in the lead. As long as he doesn't put it down, he's gonna win.
Sevan, do you know this guy who's lunging to the finish is the world champion?
For what?
International Functional Fitness Federation.
Oh, no shit.
He was first place there. And Kristen Holta was also first at that event.
I saw that Kristen Holta was.
He doesn't do CrossFit, though. He just does functional movements.
How come?
That's not true.
How come it doesn't?
I'm just.
He's cracking jokes. Same thing. Well, I wonder why we don't hear more about that.
Well, it's actually, that's a bit more broad conversation. International Functional Fitness Federation has taken some steps to do things that make the sport much more predictable. And I don't, and what I mean by that is there's a certain number of, Tola is going to have a pretty good finish here, actually.
Well, he went unbroken. Tola and Moritz 5 big went unbroken. I don't know what Braun did.
Look at Sam's weights.
Oh, his dumbbells.
So bummed right
and Sam did not go unbroken, and he's finishing up here. So we've seen that both strategies can work. Moritz went for it, got the heat win. Sam intentionally broke, took second. And Tola.
I think if you want to have a good time, though, and place high, you have to do it.
Did anyone catch, if anyone caught the top finishing time, let us know.
I couldn't have been more wrong about this workout.
4:43.
And then when did Sam and Tola come in?
4.5. I'll double check. Hold on.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty close to 5. Ooh, Sevan, you're gonna like this one. Watch on the left side of the screen here, Sevan.
Oh yeah. Mahmoud's weights are fucking coming unhinged. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, good race to finish there.
Yeah. Let's
So
do.
winning time was 4:43.
Man, he almost dropped that 90-pound weight on his toe right there.
Then Sam came in at 4:59. Tola came in at 5:01.
This is cool. Like these guys, although they're like, finishing towards the bottom of the competition, look at how jacked this guy is.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Anyway, the International Functional Fitness, Sevan, they have defined the list of movements that are acceptable within their competitions. They've defined a format for their competitions, and they've defined movement standards that are consistent at all their competitions. CrossFit has done none of those things. There's more movements out there that we've never seen before that could show up. The movement standards are liable to change from competition to competition, and they do regularly change. We've even seen it in the open where the standard for burpee changes, or the standard for a few other movements might change. Now, there are some that are always the same, like a chest bar pull-up or a toes to bar. But and then the competitions always change, whereas those competitions have a fixed number of workouts or a fixed number of days, and they fit into certain categories.
Oh, isn't that shit that like in Hunter McIntyre does something like that? It's like a CrossFit event, but it's always the same fucking thing. It's like huge in Germany. What is that thing?
He does high rocks.
Yeah, high rocks.
This is different. High rocks is an endurance.
But it's kind of the same. It's even more rigid than what Brian is saying.
Yeah, so high rocks is one test. It's the same test every time.
Yeah.
International Functional Fitness, what they'll have is they'll say, we're going to have 6 tests. 2 of them are going to fit inside this time domain. 2 of them are going to be this time domain.
Yeah.
One's going to be long. One's going to be a lift. But the lift can change, the long one can change, and the movements within can change.
Do you know why they're doing that? I'll tell you why they're doing
CrossFit.
That. Yes, it's all CrossFit.
It is CrossFit, but you can prepare for it differently.
The functional fitness thing is a misnomer. It's just all sport. It's actually it's all sport. Same with that high rocks thing. That's not what's going on with CrossFit. That's where the fucking misunderstanding is. CrossFit is not the games. The stopwatch has given us a competition element that wasn't there before in weightlifting. But CrossFit's about being healthy. And then this is sort of its bastard child. This is what happens when you got people with pathologies.
I don't even think we were having that conversation.
No, we weren't. We weren't. We weren't. I'm just saying that's the distinction. I'm okay with high rocks and this other thing too, but they're totally different. And maybe we'll see CrossFit go that way too now that venture capitalists owns it.
Well, it just depends. I mean, one of the things that made the sport of CrossFit really was like people loved about it and are very proud of it is that tagline, unknown and unknowable. In International Functional Fitness has said that unknown and unknowable has like they think their view, or at least how I would interpret it, is that's leaving too much freedom or what I don't know how they would describe it, but we need to rein it in.
Here it is. Here it is. They have a goal. They want to go to the Olympics. Yeah, that's what I should have said too. They have a goal that's other than being healthy and fit. It's to go to the Olympics. And do you know what I think of the Olympics? Go on. Sorry, Brian. Sellouts.
To be an Olympic sport, you have to meet certain regulations. And so part of the reason that they do have a specific set of movements that you have to have and a specific set of movement standards for those exercises is because you need that to check a box to be eligible to compete at the Olympics.
Right. Can't use the name CrossFit for the Olympics since it's owned and trademarked too. Yeah, I wonder how long that's going to last.
Have you ever done a podcast with Gretchen Kittleberger?
No, but I used to work with her.
I think that's her who's like one of the lead, if not the lead, people behind that IF3 movement and the Olympic push.
She was an attorney for CrossFit. I did a photo shoot once with her. I wonder what happened to those pictures. I should see if I can dig them out somewhere.
So we have, we have some of the top times for the first heat of men and women, and kind of as expected, we thought that the men would handle the weight a little bit better. Maybe actually they weren't even that much faster on the rope climb. So I think it probably just came down
climbs
to
are very similar
to the barbell. But the top men's times are close to 5 minutes, whereas the top women's are like 5:40.
And now we're going to go back to the women's final heat.
Maybe they might.
Oh.
Probably not. If I was running the competition, I would do the men's final heat now because one less change of equipment on the floor, and it's not the closest race for the title. We know Roman's going to win already if he just finishes the workout, so he can go and do this, and we can have excitement between Ricky and Lazar and Jeff, obviously. But I would want to save the women's final for the last event because it's only 11 points between Laura and Kristen.
Good point.
Knowing what the workout is, though, I think it's safe. Laura's pretty safe.
I mean, you
At
just
least-
never know.
At
You
least,
just never
at least
know.
at least I think she is.
I would never have believed that she did that poorly on that rowing burpee workout. And so who knows if maybe something's bothering her, she just something flared up, or she's not feeling well. There's always those little possibilities. But assuming that she's fine, yes, this should be a very good workout for her, and she should be able to beat Kristen on it. But they have not taken my advice, and they've reset the floor for the women, so we will see the women's final first.
It was good advice, though. You were right. I think you were right. Unless there's something
Brian,
we
I
don't
think
know.
you should make a CrossFit competition, and it's just sponsored by the Sevan podcast. I don't know how many.
The Sevan podcast can't sponsor anyone. They need sponsors.
Yes.
Featuring the Sevan podcast, and just call games people up and just do a backyard throwdown. Whoever shows up.
Speaking of
Get
sponsors,
Medeiros and Hopper there. You could do it.
we had a
Medeiros, I don't know if he'd come for it, but maybe my boy Vellner.
Hopper and Vellner.
We had 185,000 downloads on iTunes alone in the last 7 days. Which is pretty amazing. Pretty damn amazing. You think these women are nervous? You think they're getting the butterflies? You think this is like...
I think Holta might be a little bit nervous. I think Laura is not nervous. Honestly, Holta's probably going to go for it here as best as she can. So there's probably no nerves in, because then you are what you are. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't.
I completely disagree. I think every one of these athletes gets a little bit nervous, different degrees, but for every competition. I mean, the only thing I can draw back on is when I used to compete at the highest level I could, whether it was a swimming race or a soccer game, in that 1 minute to 1 second build up before any kickoff, halftime starting, a race starting, the whistle blowing, the 3, 2, 1 go, any top level athlete's going to have a little bit of nerves. I think what John's saying is they're not any extra nervous for this. Like, they know what this workout is. They probably have a plan. They understand where they stand on the leaderboard. And now it's just about executing.
Yeah. I mean, everybody, I'm not talking about just the knots in your stomach before 1, 2, 3, go. Everybody has that.
What if someone did that? They just started doing 1, 2, 3, go instead of 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm sure it happens. Can any of these events take over the CrossFit Games?
I think Rogue is the closest to it. Other than them, I don't think anybody's close.
Take over the CrossFit Games. You have to keep in mind what we said about why the John podcast would not be as popular as the Sevan podcast, or why Ray Kroc wanted to buy the name McDonald's instead of make it Crocs, is because the CrossFit Games,
Crocs. That's so great.
the CrossFit Games name, the CrossFit name carries a lot of weight. That's why no one talks about the IF3 relative to the CrossFit Games, even if the structure that they have is way better, which I'm not saying that it is. It doesn't
Sounded like you did. It sounded like you did.
But Brian, let me ask you this: if the winner of the Rogue Invitational got $500,000, and second place got 200, and third got 100,
make it 5 million, 2 million, and 1 million. It still isn't the title fittest on earth. It still isn't the CrossFit Games.
I would disagree. In 3 years, that's the competition that the fittest people would go to or want to go to, and that's what they would value the most. They would peak for that, and they would not peak for the CrossFit Games.
Maybe.
Well, you could also sign at that point. You could get you could sign an athlete who's the fittest. Let's say you sign someone like Justin Medeiros and said, "Hey, you can only compete at my competition."
I mean, look, I've thought this for years. There are certainly
That's how the fight game is.
Nobody's ever had more money than the CrossFit Games as far as the handout goes. So it's a hard competition. It's a hard conversation to have. But if it was twice as much money, all the fittest athletes would peak for that competition. And there would be way more athletes who just said, I'm not going to do the CrossFit Games this year, because there's a whole bunch of hoops you have to jump through to do it. Instead, you could just peak for rope.
Let me also just clarify one small distinction. It's not that no one has had more money. It's that no one has put up more money. There's definitely people who've had more money. They just don't put it in the prize pool. But I know what you mean, but I just wanted to be clear on that distinction.
I think it would take a couple of years, but that's what would have to happen for an event to take over.
But it wouldn't last without the affiliates behind it. I'm telling you, it would not last without the affiliates behind it. And at the end of the day, that's the only people who are watching the games. People who are affiliates or go to affiliates.
You don't think they would watch Rogue?
They would, but if they didn't get behind it, and Rogue would need an open, and it would need to be. This thing doesn't stand up on its own. The affiliates stand it up, or a Crown Prince, or a Rogue.
I mean, I agree with that too. But I also think that's a reason why nobody has been able to put up more money.
Okay. Oh, little error there from Laura, but she's starting out pretty aggressively on this workout. And this is the battle. I mean, we were watching Kristen Holta in her supposedly last ever individual CrossFit competition against the reigning second fittest woman on earth. She's only 11 points back. And, I think that even if you implode, if you're one of them and you implode and whatever happens, like, you got to go for it here. So I think, and I want both of them to sell out and try to win this competition.
I want Laura to win.
I want Sarah to win this event.
In terms of the overall event win or heat win, we'll know more about that once they finish the rope climbs and start moving the barbell. But in terms of overall winning the Dubai CrossFit Championship this year, it's two women who can do it. It's Laura and Kristen, and man, I hope it's close.
Do you think Justin or Hopper would have won this event?
This particular event or the overall competition?
I think this competition. Sorry.
Justin's the fittest person. Justin's the fittest person in the world until somebody beats him.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, and if you're going to put someone else against him, it's not Hopper that you're asking that question about. You could say Justin or Roman. You could say Justin or Vellner, someone who's been close, someone who's winning this competition. But putting Hopper in that conversation right now is something he hasn't earned.
That was going to be my first response, Brian. But then I thought, I would need to see this compared to the MAC first.
Who is in blue, Brian, next to Laura?
Well, I don't know. I can't see. Maybe Gabby? Yeah, Gabby's in blue, but there's other people in blue. Gabby's in blue. Andrea's in blue.
So Laura's got 5 left.
Let's see if we can see the first person. Have they
is
broken
hard
up
for
yet?
Halsey. No, they haven't.
No one's put it down?
Red just did. Blue just did. Blue's done.
Gabby's moving forward, which we expected her to do well on this.
Laura's done.
When you think about look at how fast Laura's cycling those deadlifts. And this isn't surprising. Like, this workout is heavy. The heavy implement is a factor.
Holta is defeated. She's done.
And it looks like Sarah's in third. So the 3 women that we expected here, Gabby, Laura, and Sarah, seem to be in the lead. We've seen Sarah win lunging workouts at the games before, specifically in 2017. A lot of people remember that it was Cara Saunders and Tia Toomey battling for the overall win, but Sarah Sigmundsdottir actually won that workout by out lunging Annie Thorsdottir and Katrin Davidsdottir. So she might be able to make up a little ground on the lunges. On the flip side, Laura's obviously beating Kristen on this workout, and if she holds off Gabby, yeah, that's Gabby. And Gabby wants these points. Like,
Gabby's getting her.
This is massive for Gabby because they're 2 minutes ahead of the fastest time from the women's first heat, so that's totally irrelevant. So every position here, so Gabby's going to take first. That's 100 points. Now we're looking. Laura's going to take second. She's going to win the overall competition. Kristen Holt has got enough points that she should be fine. So we need to see where Sam Briggs finishes because Sam Briggs was what?
When Gabby and Laura finished.
What about it?
Gabby didn't come over and give her a hug. Gabby finished first, then Laura finished. They didn't make eye contact. They didn't hug. There's something there.
That's what story loves. So this is here we got Sarah and Jacqueline Dahlstrom.
They're 28 points away.
There they go.
Briggs
They
from
hug.
Gabby.
My bad. They hug. My bad. Sorry. Go on. They hug. Go on. Sorry.
So this is a great finish for Sam in this event, or for Sarah in this event. She's going to get third. And Jacqueline Dahlstrom is going to take fourth, which is actually doing a huge favor to her training partner of Gabby McGowan because Andrea Nissler is going to come in here. We still haven't seen Sam Briggs.
There's Holta.
We still don't see Sam Briggs. And so all these points.
Is that Briggs to the far?
I don't think so.
Who is it?
I think it's Emma Lawson.
Look at Holta's lunges, how big they are.
Nissler's in. Around. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holta will be 6. That woman up in the top there will be 7. You said 28 points, John?
Yeah. It's a wrap.
And we know that 8th place is 29 points from first place. So that's 6th. That's 7th. So Briggs needs to be the next finisher after whoever that is in blue right there.
And this isn't even counting the times in the first heat.
They haven't passed yet, but it doesn't look like Briggs is.
Unless that's Briggs.
No, there's no way. She would have been close to the center of the floor.
That's Turi.
That might have been Emily Rolfe who finished. It was either Emily Rolfe or Emma Lawson.
So Sam's
I think it was
still
Rolfe.
on the shoulder to overhead then, yeah.
So yeah, Sam Briggs pretty much just imploded on this event. We can assume that it was on the barbell, and as a result of that, Gabby McGowan will end up in third place on the podium.
Briggs will end up in fourth.
Maybe. Jacqueline Dahlstrom was only 4 points behind Gabby.
Oh my gosh. No, you're right. I think Jacqueline. Where did Jacqueline finish?
Fourth.
Yeah, no, because she's dying. All the girls in the first heat are passing her right now. Look, she's taking breaks on her deadlifts. Those lunges are going to be hard. Jacqueline Dahlstrom's going to be fourth.
Well, you get 49 points for last. Dahlstrom's going to have 85. And she was only 4 points. She's only 32 back. So, yeah, she'll barely overtake her for the
She
fourth
can't get
spot.
the dumbbells up. She just tried.
And this finish for Jacqueline Dahlstrom is excellent.
Huge.
I mean, when you think about like this season for Jacqueline Dahlstrom, she makes it to the game. She makes the top 20, but she basically takes last out of 20. She makes it to Rogue by making it the top 20 at the games. She shows up there. She takes last. And now, and so like even as good as she's done, it's probably not that great of a feeling to be like 19th and 19th out of 20 in those two circumstances. But to come to Dubai here and only finish behind Horvath, Holta, and McGowan and take fourth it's got to be a huge boost of confidence for her.
This is the best
kind of,
competition she's ever had.
Yeah, and a reaffirmation that making the games wasn't a mistake and that she is actually competitive at the top end of this sport.
I feel a little bad for Sam.
Wow, look, is Gabby's taller than Laura?
That's pretty deceiving. I think they're about the same height.
She's like 2 feet back. Makes her look taller.
Big round of applause for Sam Briggs and for all the women. I mean, I think the competition was well structured, but in terms of the rest, but then having the condensed schedule like that, I mean, they had 4 tough workouts today. None of them took over 7 minutes, and all of them were challenging in different ways. So,
I'm so glad this isn't the games and there's 5 days left.
I hope the men's race is exciting like that was. Like if Lazar struggles and Jeff just runs away with it and Ricky's middle of the pack, it's just going to be really, really fun to decipher all that.
Hey, will they announce the winner right here before the men go, like the games?
Probably.
Someone will come out and be like, and the fittest.
I don't know if the leaderboard will be updated, but they'll announce that Laura won.
There's PC, Patrick Clark, my boy. He's in the cargo shorts and blue shirt right there.
Oh, he's a photographer too?
Yeah. He does. He takes a lot of pictures at these competitions. I usually try to use his pictures for my articles anytime I can. He's Athlete's Eye Photography is his stuff on Instagram.
Someone here is saying that Emma Lawson is 17, but she's 16, correct?
She may have turned 17. Sometimes it's hard to tell if you're just using the game site for that information. So yeah, she might be 17 by now.
Okay, so they are doing some sort of ceremony right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing here, let's see if we can get the audio for this. Can we get some audio for this, Caleb?
Oh, they're doing a little tribute for Kristen Holte.
I really wish they put Jacqueline like to the side of the podium, the way they did regionals.
Can you guys hear that?
You can.
The Dubai CrossFit Championship marks the final individual appearance by one of the greatest CrossFit athletes of all time. An 8 times games athlete, she has finished in the top 7 the last 5 years. In 2019, she finished second at the games, representing her Norwegian flag proudly on the podium. She last competed in Dubai in 2016 and wanted to make her last competition at the place she said she had the most fun. Let's look at some of her accomplishments. 8 times games qualifier.
Does she have plans to do team, Brian?
5 top 10 finishes at the games. 5
What, John?
consecutive finishes.
Does she have plans to do
7
team?
or better at the games.
Oh, she's going to compete on a team at Wadapalooza. Besides that, I don't know. It'll just be a team of 3 women, all from Norway.
Fittest woman in Norway. 5 times event winner at the CrossFit Games. The 2019 silver medalist and the second fittest woman on the earth. And the 2021 German Throwdown semifinals would like to thank and give a big round of applause to Kristen Holte.
The German semifinal throwdown. What the fuck was that?
She won that event. They did not mention that she was the IF3 world champion, though.
Ah.
Kristen, thank you so much. We appreciate.
Were there any other big names besides her in the female division there?
Not really of the caliber that you're thinking.
Okay, not like her.
No.
All
3 women who podiumed there were from Norway, actually. The other 2
Okay.
are Matilda Garns and Seher. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name.
So she just went over there and fucked up shop. She went into the B League and just smashed people.
But she also won it last year. Like she competes in that. She has competed in that before.
She consistently is taking candy from children.
It'd be fun for her to if she did team. Like I hope she would do that. That'd be cool.
It's been an honor to be in this community for so many years and to be able to participate in so many competitions. And I'm just really honored to be a part of this, to be out there on the floor with the other athletes. They're amazing. And I'm so excited to watch the young stars come up and show everyone what they can do in the future. So I'm rooting for you guys. Thank you.
Wow. What a special moment we all got to share.
Wow, what a special moment.
Honor.
I wonder if she strikes me as the type of person who might transition into like a coaching role, like Michelle Letendre did. I think she likes the sport. I think she knows a lot about it. I think she knows how to maximize potential within the sport. So I'd be interested to see over the next year or 2.
In Norway, close?
Not really, but it doesn't have to be. I mean, Letendre coaches Ellie Turner. She lives, across the world in Australia. And
I know, but if there was a guy in Norway that was even breaking through, I could.
There's some women, younger women that are probably closer to breaking through than than the Norwegian men right now.
There's a guy in Norway who's breaking through, and that's why she's retiring. You know what I mean? You know,
I think you're right about that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, let's see what these guys got to say.
8 years have been spent at the very tip top of the sport. She showed up in 2014 as a rookie, made her mark by winning the 333, got her first event win out of 5. She would win 4 more over the course of the next 7 years, 5 consecutive finishes inside the top 7. She made the podium. She got a silver medal around her neck, and really set the tone for the next few years for her country in Norway, who has now since put a team on the podium this past year. You've seen multiple athletes, including Jacqueline Dahlstrom, make it to the games as individuals, and really set the tone for the rise of a sport in an entire country. And she's been such a good representative across the board. Just a great send-off and a tremendous person through and through.
Yeah, and what a way to end her weekend.
Caleb, can you pause this for a second, or just mute it for a second?
The podium will obviously.
Look at those boxes sitting on their table. I see a power cord plugged into them and then nothing else plugged into them. Are those just props, or are those like really? Do those really do anything? I'm trying to figure out what those boxes are on there.
Do y'all feel bad for Laura a little bit? She gets so unlucky about every single competition she does. There's some emotional thing that just overtakes her.
Annie had a baby.
Hilarious.
Kristen's retiring. Tia's won her 7,000th title. You mean like there's always something so big going on that she just can't get any love?
It just keeps happening.
I don't know. I don't care. If you're not in first place, like
she is in first place.
She is in first.
She just won the competition, and they didn't even mention it. But they will obviously have a ceremony where they'll recognize her as a champion later on. But I think that was kind of weird. I don't think that it was. I'm not upset that they did that, but to not at least announce Laura as a champion and then do something like that on the floor.
I could get it if she was from Dubai, like if Jamie Simmons was retiring or something. I know, but Sevan, if you could find somebody to sneak it on there, I bet he wouldn't notice.
Just sneak it right over the Buttery Bros one.
Let me tell you something.
His laptop somehow.
It would burn a soul. It would burn a hole in his soul. He would feel like if someone snuck in his room at night and stuck it on his laptop, he'd wake up from a deep sleep. He would feel it just eating away at his soul. Trust me. Trust me.
Need to send one to Brian the next competition he sees him at. He'll just somehow get it on his laptop.
If so, resetting for the men here. We've got the final heat coming up. We know that the fastest times from the previous heat were 4:43, 4:51, 5:01. We'll see if they're relevant. It didn't really factor in for the women. Roman Krennikov far away in the lead here. This is basically a victory lap for him. I still think that he's going to do very well in the workout. Top 3 at worst is my expectation. But eyes should be on Lazar Jukic, Ricky Garrard, and Jeff Adler. Only 2 of them can make the podium. Adler is the odd man out right now. He's 29 points behind Garrard and another 14 points behind Lazar. So he needs to go for it. He has to try to go unbroken and hope that the other guys can't.
Okay, let me ask you this. So Adler's in 4th place. Can he beat Ricky, Lazar, or Roman? Can he beat one of those guys in this workout?
He could
beat all of them.
He could potentially win this workout, but what I'm saying is he has to risk going for the win here if he wants to make the podium.
Okay,
playing it safe is not in the cards.
He's got to beat Ricky and Lazar by a good amount to beat them in the overall competition.
Yeah, he needs to beat them and get help. It's the situation that you don't really want to be in.
They have to come 9th for Ricky and then like 15th for Lazar.
Not 9th.
He needs 5 or 6 places. Wow.
Yeah, you are right. Sorry.
So Adler needs to come ahead of Ricky by 5 or 6 places here. Ricky needs to shit the bed and Adler needs to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which means that likely what we're looking at is Lazar and Ricky battling for the 2nd and 3rd spot.
Okay. And look at Adler. He's ready. Look at him. You can tell. Look at him.
He knows. I mean, he knows that he didn't do it in the last 2 and that this is his only shot. And he will
Why have the judges back there? Why not have them waiting for them at the rig? Why did the judges have to run with them? What am I missing here? You know what I mean? Like, watch this. They're going to say go, and the judges trot down too. I keep wanting to see a judge trip over one of these bars when they do this.
And then
you were completely right about that. It's unnecessary.
Is 15th place. He'd have to get 15th place, and Jeff would have to win.
Okay, to take second.
That's to tie, but I don't know who wins on tiebreakers.
This is going to be fun to see what Roman's mindset is here.
Roman's mindset is win.
Yeah.
He'll be composed. You have to think back to 2017 final, the Fibonacci finale with Fraser. He didn't need to go all out. He just kind of methodically ended up towards the front. That's what probably will happen with Roman here. It doesn't look like he's moving as fast as Ricky and Lazar and Jeff, who have to, but he's probably not far behind, and that actually might pay off for him by the end.
Hugo, I was actually check for false starts. Maybe I thought I saw some false starts in the women's event too. I think there's a delay between the video and the audio that's just enough. I think it's like tenths of seconds that's making us think that. But
so I think they're on their last rope climb here. Yeah, moving forward already. It looks like Lazar and Jeff were the first two. They're both in blue. Jeff's towards the top of the screen. Lazar's closer to us. Roman's in the white, advancing there just past Lazar. But that was like a minute 10, minute 15. So already they're 30 seconds ahead of the entire first heat.
And Adler's in first place where he needs to be.
Yeah, but this barbell actually looks a little bit harder for him than I expected. Maybe it was just a rep or two. But hopefully they keep this wide enough where we can see.
Look at Roman.
Yeah, he's fast.
Here, this is a good shot. So Jeff put it down, which I'm shocked to see that because I felt like he needed to go for it, but he didn't spend very much time with it on the ground. So I would say it was a calculated break for him.
Ricky's killing it too. I don't think Ricky's put it down. He must be approaching 10.
Here's Roman, just nice and easy into the lead.
So Ricky and Roman, oh my gosh, Jeff failed. Ricky and Roman both went unbroken. Wow.
Oh, Roman got a no rep.
That's a wrap.
He's not
going to beat Ricky once they're out of this push shirt.
Right.
Or by enough points.
So it's
Roman.
We thought that it was these four guys coming into the weekend, and basically just on event 6A and 6B, Jeff didn't get the job done. And as a result of that, he's going to miss the podium to these three guys. But all credit to these guys. I mean, Roman's obviously been the best throughout the weekend.
It's still a race between Ricky and Lazar, though. If Ricky beats Lazar by 3 spots, then Ricky will be in second.
Hey,
seems unlikely, but yes.
This is kind of homage to the last workout at the games, huh?
This year?
Yeah.
There are some elements of it that are similar, sure. There was you forgot about the row in that workout, of course.
And the 90 chest to bar.
The totally irrelevant row. 90 chest to bar could be comparable to 9 rope climbs, I suppose, and then you move a barbell and lunge a little bit.
One is way more than the other.
I said, I'm trying to help Sevan out with the fact that the comparison is not that good. Aside from the
come
fact
on,
that
it's great.
It's
finishing with lunges and it's got deadlifts in it. It's great. It's a great.
There were no deadlifts in that workout,
and I appreciate there weren't.
Yeah, dumbbell deadlifts. Oh, you're talking about the final. Sorry.
Another finish event win for
Ricky's gonna get second.
So we have to watch Lazar here. The times from the first heat are irrelevant. So as long as Ricky finishes second, as long as Lazar finishes, what did you say, within 3 spots?
3 spots.
So if he gets Ricky's in second place, 95 points. Jeff and Lazar's going to get third, 90 points.
So Lazar's going to be second place.
And that's awesome, man. I actually talked to
Lazar
before this competition, and he was like, dude, you left me off the podium. And I'm like, oh, I know you love to prove me wrong, so go do it. So he'll be super excited about that. That's a big finish for him. Like I said, he was 5th here 2 years ago, taking second this year. And the only people that were ahead of him other than Roman that year aren't competing this year, Fikowski, Vellner, and BKG. So this is, about what to expect in a competition that, as John talked about, is a little bit more favoring the endurance and the strength. And kind of like you saw with Jacqueline Dahlstrom, maybe not as extreme, but when you think that he's taken second place here and at the Rogue Invitational, he was 12th place, you can see that gap in performance based on the relative programming.
Dude, how happy is Ricky? He just hung with Lazar and Roman and Adler.
I actually think he expected that. I think they were hoping he was closer to Roman than he was. than he was. You know, this was a dominant competition by Roman. Roman just beat everybody. Two top 10 games athletes by a lot.
But there's no surprise because he also beat
It's not a
BKG
surprise,
2
but I
years
think-
ago. He beat BKG by 100 points in this competition.
Right. It's not a surprise, but I think Ricky wanted to be closer to that than to be just be on the
He's
podium.
doing he's going to do the workout again.
Oh, if he just went and did another rope climb, just pretended.
This
just
is
to
now
pretend.
5 straight competitions that he's won, that he's entered.
We have to move the CrossFit games, guys. I'm telling you, call the right people, get them in.
Do you know anyone? Do any of us know anyone who works at the games? I used to.
We could start a petition by change.org.
No, but I mean, in all seriousness, it is at this point, it is really a travesty that we can't see him compete in the U.S. or haven't been able to, because there's nothing that he's shown us when he has shown up to competitions that makes me think that he's not a legitimate contender for the podium, especially now.
Or if like the Rogue, I know they won't do it, but if the Rogue Invitational could move, you know, all the top games people do that one too. I just want to see him in a
That's
games
got to
level
stay in the
field.
U.S. That road.
I know, but the games is not moving anytime soon. I just want to see Roman against all the top guys just once, where everybody's in the same place.
Honestly, this upcoming year would be the best time to see it, because Fikowski and Vellner are approaching the end. BKG is still relevant.
They're still at their peak.
You have Medeiros coming up. You have Jukic coming up. You have Ricky coming back. You have Adler, who's in the middle of his career. There's a lot of good guys right there. Yonikoski, Guimayeros. And if you insert Roman into that conversation, it only amplifies the quality of the final heat at the games.
And I just want to see it once, just
Well
so I
said,
can
Teddy.
see this is where Roman is.
And we know from years and years
what
of
if he's
experience.
fitter than Medeiros, and we just don't know because we can't see him?
Exactly. And he has he has a skill set that gives him an advantage over Medeiros, which is his ability to win workouts, to be the best in the world at a specific workout. Now, that might change for Medeiros. We did see him win one workout this year, and we remember back to Fraser's first year where he only won
Fraser
one.
was the exact same way, yeah. And then he
Not
won
the exact
19.
same way. Fraser had 7 seconds that year. Justin Medeiros did not have 7 second place finishes.
I'm saying that, you know what I'm saying.
Are we
Yes
going
and
to
no.
stick? Are we going to stick around for another 20 minutes? Watch this award ceremony. See, and I say we wait till the leaderboard refreshes before we tap out. We talk a little bit more about this.
I mean, we know who it is.
Are you in a rush to go get a workout, John?
If you have very specific training blocks.
As soon as we're done here, I'm going to the gym. Yes, but I'm fine. I can wait for whatever.
Let's see what's going on here. Let's hear what's going on here.
He's going to try and do it the right way this time. He's hired the right coach in Justin Kotler, who I think is the right guy to get him on the straight and narrow.
Talking about Ricky.
You could see a difference in his demeanor here, all weekend long. And the result is going to be a podium finish here in Dubai.
Yeah, solid performances all around, especially your top 3 that were going into this final event on the men's side of things. Lazar Jukic, Roman Krinikov, and Ricky Garrard. You just touched up on him. As we take a look at some of the women waiting for their podium announcement as well. On the women's side, what were some of the things that impressed you, and what did you like from this weekend?
Man, obviously there was the emotional moment there with Kristen Holta. And,
Wait a
hopefully getting to see
second.
her
Wait a
back
second.
on the
That's one of
podium to
Tommy's
close this out
highlights?
would just be a great tip of the cap. I was encouraged by Sarah Sigmundsdottir coming back from injury as well. A strong performance from her. Emily Rolfe, she doesn't get enough credit as an athlete. She is an athlete who's won events at the games and starting to break into the top 10 range overall in this elite field of women is a great performance from her. I mean, there's a ton to talk about. Emma Lawson in ninth, coming into this event, potentially sticking around in the top 10 when all of this is said and done.
This was my guess, Liz. I was guessing it's some sort of criminal record. And I don't even know if it's a real criminal record. It might just be some weird shit. They got some weird shit going on in Russia. Like as weird as the shit that's going on our social media. like people getting banned for hunting pigs and giving the food to poor people, and you getting banned, shadow banned for that. That's the kind of weird shit that they have going on there that they've had going on a long time. I remember when there were a lot of arm wrestlers in Chechnya that couldn't fly around the world for arm wrestling tournaments because Chechnya was considered just a bad spot. Let's go over really quick who your guys' choices were before we saw the event for first, second, and third place, men and women. Brian, who did you have men and women first, second, and third place? And then we'll do John.
Men, I think I had Roman, Ricky, Jeff, Lazar in that order.
I think we should go through 1 through 4.
Okay. Roman.
Well, Lazar
Ricky,
is significant in this conversation.
Yeah, I think I had Roman, Ricky, Jeff, Lazar.
Jeff Adler. Okay. And Lazar.
And I was Roman, Jeff, Ricky, Lazar.
Roman, Jeff, Ricky, Lazar. Okay, so same guys, just a little movement there. And then how about the women, Brian?
Well, I didn't just based on the fact of the unknown handstand push-up standard. I hadn't picked Laura to win. If I had known what that handstand push-up workout was, probably would have picked her. But I think I had her third or fourth. John, you know that's true. Other than that, in the top 4, I had Gabby, Laura, Kristen, and Sarah.
Gabby, Laura, Kristen, and Sarah. Just really quick before you go, John, I want to answer this question here. I had this question too, but the answer is pretty obvious once I thought about it. Why is Andrea Nisler competing under Timberwolf instead of Mayhem? I believe Timberwolf is the gym she owns, and so she's just giving some love to her peeps at home. But she is a Mayhem athlete. Okay, John, who are your women?
I had
top 4?
I had Laura winning, and then I believe I had Gabby second. Do you have it in front of you, Brian? I looked for the
John had
cabinet.
Laura, Gabby, Kristen, Emma Carey.
No. I had
did.
Sarah.
What am I missing here?
That may have been me. I said Emma Carey.
Oh, you did have Sarah third. I moved her out
Yeah.
of. Why did something weird happen on this spreadsheet? I had to remove Karen Frayne. I think I accidentally removed your third place pick. So he had Laura, Gabby, Sarah, Kristen.
So we had we had the same people on both things on top 4. They were just a little reversed order.
And so it looks like you guys did pretty good. It looks
Yeah,
like
but not
you guys
that. I
did-
mean, not that surprising. Like we said, these top
There
couple
was the
people
top
at the
the
top,
top were the top, yeah.
and it was more of a question of how they would sort themselves out. So we could say that we missed on Lazar, like we both had him fourth. He took second, and that I did not pick Laura to win, and she won. Other than that, I'd say we did pretty well.
I picked Laura to win.
If you weren't on the show, I would have picked her to win too.
Who-
But that's no
who,
fun. I usually don't try not to pick this as often as I can, not the same person.
Who goes on to Wadapalooza from here? Who is what? And when is Wadapalooza? Is that the next big event?
It is.
Yes.
And
Do
when
you
is
have
that?
the roster
February?
list, Brian?
Yes.
Are you allowed to say?
I don't think so.
What's the date on Wadapalooza? Do we know? Do they have a date yet?
I think it's January 16th, right around there.
Holy cow! So it's coming.
Yeah, and that's why you don't see a lot of top athletes, in particular from North America, at this competition, is because for most of them, it makes sense to choose one or the other.
Well,
There
Ricky
are
has
a
to-
couple people that are doing both. Ricky Garrard is doing both, for example, but it actually isn't that odd for him. Like he traveled from Australia to Dubai. He's going to travel from Dubai to the United States. And I hope that the rumors are true that he's going to stay in the United States throughout the whole entire season. I don't think it's worth it for him to risk going back to Australia if he can legally stay here. And therefore, doing another competition, getting some more experience, I think would be good for him.
Who else in the men's field is going to Wadapalooza?
Is Medeiros doing Wadapalooza?
I don't know.
Vellner is doing Wadapalooza. He said on Instagram. So
Yeah.
Vellner will be there. Ricky will be there. Hopper will be there.
From this field, I think Luka Jukic, Ricky, might be the only two who are here and also doing that.
Lazar is not.
No. Oh, and Fabian Benito and Yorgos Karvis.
Wait, so Luca's going to Miami, but Lazar isn't?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and
Is
why is that?
Guillermo doing Wadapalooza?
TBD. He hasn't confirmed.
Okay. And Haley?
I would think that they would, but I don't.
Yeah,
Haley's doing a team with Nisler and Taylor Williamson.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick, and then we'll come back. I want to circle around and talk about the women going to Wadapalooza. And Caleb, if they start to do the award ceremony, will you give us a little audio on that?
Just looking at some of the comments here, I don't think Cara Saunders will go, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't think Tia will go because I think she's training for bobsled. Liz Myers, if Fellner and Justin were in Dubai, who do you think would have done better? I'm going to pick Justin Medeiros in every competition until someone beats him. And unless I just feel like picking a different pick from John.
Say what?
Unless I just feel like just picking a different pick than you.
Do you think I don't know, with the events, rowing and biking, high output, you think Justin would beat Roman?
Oh, would beat Roman.
Yeah, like let's just put Vellner and Justin in this event. What do you think would happen? I think they would definitely beat Lazar, but Roman is. I think it'd be a good race.
Yeah, I mean, wait, is this updated now? So the leaderboards do appear to be updated online, and basically Roman won by almost 100 points. I think it was 92 points that he beat.
So that's almost two whole events. The way the scoring system is.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to think about that. So it's almost a 200-point lead to what you're used to hearing.
Right. So, and that's significant. And if you go back to 2 years ago, he was also 100 points ahead of BKG, and just 10 points or 9 points behind Vellner. So in this competition, yeah, I think that he would have been in the mix with a Vellner or a Medeiros if they showed up here. If you think about the events specifically, you have to think that Roman would have gotten the better of them in the snow. You have to think that he would have been right there with them on the lifting. Roman
ended up hitting 160, 352. I've seen Vellner hit 160, and I've seen Justin do it, but I've only seen him do it once. Like they're not. If they are better, it's not by a lot. And
especially in that format where you only get 2 attempts, you don't know how much risk you're willing to take. And honestly, in that scenario, maybe Roman doesn't go for 160 with those guys in the field. But either way.
I think he wanted to make a statement. That's all he's been working in the offseason, and he's been working it hard. Why would you not show it? I think he would do that regardless.
But you go forward from there. After he finishes the lifting, he's first in event 4. And the way that he executed that, it's like, would those guys have beaten him? I don't know.
So on that one, I'm not going to say he would win that because I think they would look exactly the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then he takes 3rd in event 5, 3rd in event 6A, 1st in event 6B, and 1st in event 7. And basically what we're saying is there's not a lot of room for error there. And even if those guys are beating him in these workouts, they're gaining 5 to 10 points. So if they had even had one bad workout of the 9 scored events, then Roman could have beaten them here.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of the events because he did those shoulder to overhead unbroken. I do think Medeiros would do it unbroken. I think Vellner would do it unbroken too. But I don't know who would win that, right? Because he beat everybody. And then, but in the double event where he came 1st and 3rd, I don't know if Vellner Medeiros comes 1st and 3rd.
Right. No, so this is this very, very well could have been a competition that that Roman could have beaten one of those guys at, if not both.
Hey, I bet you at Mayhem would be my guess that they do some of these and they beat up on these scores. I wonder if what? Say that again, Brian?
Irrelevant. I don't put any stock into when Ricky was banned for 4 years and he was doing all the workouts at home and he's like, this is my time. Take that, Matt Fraser. It's like, listen, bro, the environment is totally different. That's why I don't put a lot of value in online competitions compared to in-person competitions.
If I go to the gym and clean and jerk 365, I can't say I'm stronger than Tola. You know what I mean? It doesn't work that way.
I get that, and I wasn't implying that. I'm just saying. I bet you they, and I wonder. They're going to do some of these. I bet, just to see. And
Sure, a lot of people would. Even lowly people like us have done them.
Right. I'm wondering if they're going to do the same thing with if Matt and his athletes are going to do it. I wonder if Hopper's going to do it. I wonder if Mal O'Brien's going to do it. I wonder if they see these and they're like, okay, because even if you can't say it, if one of them does this event, let's say this event that like you guys are just saying that you're not sure if Medeiros could beat Roman. If Medeiros goes home right today or later on today and he does this final event at his house and he gets 259, it does something to him psychologically. That's good.
I think it does more if he goes home and he gets 331. I think it could only, like, if he beats that score, he should. He's in a comfortable atmosphere. He didn't do a whole competition. You could do whatever you want to it. The transitions aren't the same. He should beat that time. He has a time to beat too. It's way easier to get a faster time when you know the time to beat. But if he didn't beat the time, I think that would hurt psychologically because there's no reason you shouldn't.
And light a fire under your ass.
It could only, I mean, that could happen. I think it could only be detrimental though.
Oh, you mean if he doesn't beat it, it's bad. Like, don't do it, lose to it, and feel like shit.
Yeah.
Jacqueline, it's funny. I just started following Bryce Bennett again. That's the guy, the giant man that I interviewed at the CrossFit podcast, right? The Olympian.
Ross Lewis has the best comment of the day.
Matt Mursky would have beat all of these times. Correct. That is correct.
That's great.
I am not a fan of the MC James. Who's the M? Is that on the floor at the place?
Yeah, James Quigley.
How would that guy know? Are you at the event? Brian, what do you think about Howard Fikowski you've done here? Were these events good for him?
He would have done well. Against this field, either first or second.
And one of my least favorite conversations, but I'll give it some time. Do you agree with the scale point system once you get below top 6?
I think the scoring left a little to be desired at this competition.
What do you think, John?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the just 100, 95, 90, all the way down. So if you finish 20th, you get 5 points. I think that's how it should be. Yeah.
This
scoring system favors a specialist. Like, it leaves because they can win events, and then when they do bad, they don't get. It's not a detriment. It's not as big as a detriment when they do really bad.
What does this comment mean? Brian can't say Ricky qualified, wasn't an invite. So
there are two different ways to get to be in the Wodapalooza elite field. One of them is if you did the online qualifier and you finished in the top 20, that's how Ricky made it into that field. And and everyone knows that. So it's fine for me to say that. But when you ask me if Justin Medeiros is competing, he was invited. And if he hasn't declared whether he's competing or not, then it's not my place to share that information.
Has Wodapalooza revealed who has been invited?
No.
Okay.
No, but there are people on Instagram that said they're going. Like, Patrick has said he's accepted his invitation.
And we just assume Medeiros has got an invite.
No, we know he's got an invite. The people who were invited to Wodapalooza is public. The people who accepted that invitation is
That's
not.
what I was asking. Okay, so Wodapalooza does tell you who they invited.
And it's on their website, and they invite a lot of people. They invite like games winners going back 5 years. They invite top 3 from the semifinals last year. They invite top 30 from the quarterfinals. They invite anyone who was at the games.
If you're somebody, you got to invite.
Wodapalooza invite list 2021. Can I just Google that?
Did Mertens get an invite?
That's a good question. Did he? Did Colt Mertens get an invite? Did he qualify?
Colton Mertens. Everyone who was at the games this year got an invite.
Okay.
Deepest Wodapalooza men's field ever.
Oh, that's an article I wrote.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, it is by
What is
Brian
it?
Friend.
So these are the people that we know, correct?
Wait, what is that? What are you looking at? Why is Jake Marconi on that list?
That's Mal O'Brien's coach, right?
No. What is this?
I'm pretty sure it is.
No,
Oh,
he trains.
this is
he
not-
trains with them. He trains with them.
I think he's the coach of them. I think he is the HWPO coach. No, Brian?
I thought
Sorry.
Marconi was an athlete.
He is,
Yeah.
but he's also a coach for HWPO.
He's the coach.
I mean,
This is very confused. Okay, this is not the article that I wrote. This is an article that Patrick Clark is organizing, and I would disregard this, and I don't want it up on our screen.
Yeah, Caleb.
get this
Hey, it looks
filth off
like
of
some.
our screen.
Let's see what's going on over. There's some people talking to Roman. He's got a clean shirt on. He's got his whoopee shit going. Let's see what's going on over. Can we, Caleb, on
Is it going to show his heart rate during the interview?
probably. What are these guys saying?
For the award ceremony for both the men and the women, who lands on the podium? Let's send it down to the floor and await that announcement.
Is that Sigmund's daughter's agent right there? Sign.
Oh, Brian.
Brian, is that Sigmund's daughter's agent? Is that?
Yes.
Does he also represent Roman?
Yes, and he's the guy who's working very hard to try to get Roman to the U.S. this year.
Brian. Jacqueline Dahlstrom was 2 points away from fourth.
So it was very close.
Yeah.
Hey, anybody with a G5 can come.
Andrea Nisler did pretty good in total.
Yeah, and I mean, we had projected her. I had projected her. I don't know, 5th or 6th, and you'd had her. Dude, this is not right. What am I looking at? You had her
Have you
8th.
guys given the final results
had
yet? Caleb, can you put up the final results? It looks like all the
No.
scoreboards have been updated.
Do you have a tab with the women, Brian? Because the only thing I can see is the men.
The results or our predictions?
Our predictions.
Man, something seems off with that. I don't know.
Caleb,
no,
I gave you a link in the private chat.
Yeah, I have a
You said
tab with
already.
it. I have a tab
Okay.
with it.
Okay, so we got Laura Horvat clearly in first, Kristen Holta clearly in second, and Gabriella Magawa. They're about equidistant from each other. And even fourth place, they're all 20 points away from each other, more or less.
30, 30, 20. Yeah, and look, Sarah Sigmundsdottir, 1 point away from 6th, right there. I think this is a good finish for her. John and I talked about it while you were using the bathroom earlier. Healthy competition, fairly consistent, no amazing performances. Her worst performance was on a downhill snow run, which makes sense given the uncertainty around her knee. Emily Rolfe, 8th place, kind of as expected. Emma Lawson, great competition for her in 9th. I think that this was probably go a long way in terms of her belief in herself, of being capable of performing in this sport going forward. Turi right in the middle there. So pretty much what we'd expect. I'd say there's outliers here, the surprises. Sam Briggs, Jacqueline Dahlstrom, and Emma Lawson, I would say all punched up a little bit.
And the lowest first place finish is 13th place overall finisher, Manon Anganese. And she got first place in the 3rd event. I always find that fascinating how far down someone won a first.
Yeah, that was a lifting event, and so it's a specialty event. And you look at the person in 11th, Michaela Norman. She didn't win, but second in the first workout. And it's just because this format, getting a first or second goes a long way when you're competing against the bottom half of the field.
Let me take a page out of Brian Friend's book. This is the kind of stuff that you learn while working with Brian Friend. Look at 4th place Samantha Briggs. She has 3 first place finishes, and no one else even has 2. And she's the only one who is a CrossFit Games champion.
Laura doesn't have 2?
She does not. Now she has 3 second place finishes, a first place finish, and a 3rd place finish.
Oh, okay.
But it is fascinating how good Sam is still. If the work, I mean, she's still competing with the best in certain workouts.
It is crazy, and I'm happy for Sam Briggs, but it's a bit about how the competition is. Like I don't think she will do as good as she just did in any competition but this competition. That's no offense to her.
Will she go to Wadapalooza?
I would probably not.
Now let's look on the men's side. You got Roman Krenikov, who's in first place, and he also has 3 first place finishes.
How many second place finishes?
1, 2, also 3.
And how many third place finishes?
2.
Is that all the events? Is
No,
that
he had a fifth. He had a fifth.
Pretty damn close.
Oh, he had a fifth. Oh, that
The
was
lifting, which is a great finish for him.
Come on now.
And then basically between Roman, Lazar, and Ricky, they got all the first place finishes. There's a couple other outliers out here.
Just on the lifting. It's just going to be Houdet or Tola and Bronislaw on the lifting event.
And yeah, and then there was
Ricky on the running events, and then it's just all Roman and Lazar. Well, Roman, all of them, and then Lazar won.
And that stunt Happalainen pulled in event number.
I forgot about Happalainen. Yeah,
but that was just then he took a 19th in the sister workout to that workout.
Yeah, backed it up with a 6th on the finale, though, and a 6th place overall in this competition. Henrik Happalainen is probably the least known and least talked about guy who made the top 20 at the games this year. This is a good result, a good finish for him. You know, he maintains that status ahead of Yorgos Karavis by a few points, ahead of Elliot Simmons, ahead of Luka Dukic, Simon Montala, Alex Katoulos. All of those guys are guys who will be contenders to take one of the 10 spots at the games next year out of Europe. Most of them were in the semifinals this year, and I think all of them were actually. So that's it's good for him that he's backing up his games performance by staying ahead of some guys like that.
This guy is the what was the guy's name? I don't know if he's still in the CrossFit scene anymore, but he was really good. No one knew him. Ben Stoneberg, or is that his name? Stoneberg?
Yeah.
This guy Henrik Happalainen is the Ben Stoneberg of 2021. 37.
He's like 6 inches taller than Ben Stoneberg, though.
Oh, and he's got some hair.
Man, what's cool about the men's is the last event was all the top 6 people, and it's almost in perfect order.
Yeah, just one little flip.
That's pretty cool.
Say that one more time again.
In the last event, it is the top 6 fittest people, and it's almost in perfect order.
Wow.
And traditionally, you'll see the fittest guys always do better at the end of the competition because they recover better than the rest.
For me, the 2 biggest pieces here are actually all four of them are nice and confirming. It is really nice to see Roman, Lazar, Ricky, and Jeffrey all 1, 2, 3, 4. It makes you feel good about what we're going to see from them at the games. It makes you want to see all of them compete again. Yeah, it's good. It's good for them. I would have liked to have seen Sam Stewart finish up a little higher. I'd like to have seen him represent that game's pedigree a little better. Why did Sam do so poorly?
What is this? A participation medal?
Yeah, they always do this in Dubai. Dubai is always valued very highly, participation and people who regularly show up to their events. So they do some nice things for the athletes, this being one of them. But Sam Stewart, you have to keep in mind, he's still pretty young, 24, 25 years old. He did have to withdraw from the games due to injury. We can assume that he's healthy enough to be competing at something like this. I would say that, this is about as poorly as he could have done. And, the points are kind of tight. He had 576. And if you just go like 3 or 4 spots up, it's only 10 points difference. But something that he'll build off of. I think he's and his team, he's working with Max El-Haj, are probably looking like they're there now. They're relevant and competing, but they're not competing to win or to podium yet. So I think you're still looking at 2 to 3 years for this guy to be where he maybe wants to be.
And you also called Mohammed and Mahmoud to be in 18th and 19th. Very accurate.
Yep.
even though they were fun to watch this week and they did great.
For sure.
It's not a big
I
deal.
love that those guys and guys like that are often at this competition. When they're able to have 30 to 40 athletes compete, you'll see these guys in the field, and you'll also see a couple women from the Middle East in the field. And I think that's extremely important. And like I said, these guys are very fit. They're not bad. It's just majority of this field are games level or have games experience. Actually, those two guys do too from 2019, but it's like they're regionally good.
Well, I will say this about them. That year is 2019, the year at the games when they let everyone go. Like you just had to be from a country to go. Was that 2019?
Fittest in your country, yeah.
Okay. Well, there were people there who embarrassed themselves. And these two guys did not embarrass themselves in the slightest at this event. So that definitely they definitely belonged there. It wasn't like someone's cousin, the prince's cousin who just got in. And that's the way the games felt in 2019. It was an embarrassment for some of those people.
Yeah, like the people who were organizing the sport that year.
Them too.
No, I don't even think it's fair to say them. That was a one man's decision that year. And you know what? It's okay because he has regularly taken risks and and done things that were against the grain, and more often than not, they were in the benefit of humanity.
I agree, but if I finished 20,000 places below someone who's in the same competition at me, and there were only 200 people in the competition, I'm not going.
They did get like $1,000 worth of free.
And Lazar Jukic turned down his invitation that year for that reason.
Yeah.
And he would have been in the top third of the men there that year.
Yeah. And I'm not saying I don't judge those people who did go.
Send that $5 to Hopper.
Outside of you embarrassed yourself, but I'm just saying. For Brian's comment. Which one? What was Brian's comment? What was Brian's comment?
I don't remember.
Briggs is a Masters athlete, right in the mix. Does Klokoff have a chance at Masters?
The answer is no.
Thanks for doing this. Oh, here, you want to see Brian get all fired up? Here we go. Is Europe getting more game spots in 2022?
So your question is not specific enough because I have not contended that Europe should have more game spots. It's specifically the European women. And and very specifically, it's that the European women have significantly outperformed the American women, and yet the American women are still getting twice as many spots, whereas the European men have not done the same as relative to the American men. And so what I think is that there should, at this point, and I think that in the future this should even change further, but at this point, that CrossFit could look at the last 5 years of relevant data and realize that the performances of the women from Europe at the games have warranted extra spots to be taken away from the North American women. But that can fluctuate. It doesn't have to be a permanent change.
Oh, we're gonna start like a cold war in the CrossFit community.
Yeah, you mean by separating the men and the women? That's a horrible idea. Everything Brian is saying,
it's not.
Everything that Brian is saying, I agree with, except that one of the weirdest things about our sport is that there's no distinction between the men and the women in terms of being a fan. None. I've never met anyone who's like, I like the men's competition more. I like the women's competition more. I mean, there's some feminist kooks out there who get off on that, but everyone's pretty much equal.
So you're saying let's give 2 more spots to both the men and the women, so we can make the men's field weaker and the women's field stronger? No, we're still gonna have 40 and 40. It's just let's try to get, if we're gonna do it based on regions across the world, why wouldn't we try to get the best group of people there?
Okay, fine, you win. But I still want to go back to the
I think you just take the last two, like for the last chance qualifier, just take those 2 spots and give it to Europe.
I've written an article about this. It's on the Morning Chalk Up for those who are interested. And I lay out what I would do this year based on the results from the last 5 years.
What is the most with Brian? The way Brian's talking is to him. I think he's saying the most important thing to him is to get the best people there at the games, and that will facilitate the best competition and thus validate the you're the fittest man in the world. And it's hard to argue that. Am I right, Brian? That's what you're saying. Hey, let's just get the best people there, and this is one of the ways to do it.
Yeah, and when you have pull up the games leaderboard from this year if you want, and tell me where the bottom 5 North American qualifiers finished.
And Karen Frey would be better than all of them.
And Karen Frey lost to 5 women in Europe in the semifinals who finished, all 5 of those women finished 13th or better at the games. And I would favor Karen Frey in a live competition over at least 2 or 3 of those women, meaning I think that she is good enough. And it's very sad that she didn't get to compete this year. So people at this competition, Dubai CrossFit Championship, so people could see her in a live competition who maybe haven't seen her in a couple of years. But she was, I think that she was fit enough to be top 10 at the games this year. But because of the way that the spots are distributed, she didn't get in at the expense of 5 women who finished in the bottom 8.
I think
how many spots do you think are getting left out?
I think it was specifically. I think I would have given 3 more spots to Europe.
Yeah, he's like, and the difference in caliber is not that great. But I'm fine with what Brian's saying. But I think it's splicing hairs. But I think if we're gonna claim to be the fittest, it should be the fittest. My point was this, and then we'll get back to this. In gymnastics, no one gives a shit about the men in the Olympics. They watch the women. In basketball, professional basketball, people watch the men. No one gives a shit about the women. This sport is not like that. And I don't know any other sport that's like this. We're at the seat of our pants for both men and women. We have no preference. We don't care that the men lift more or that the women made run faster. It's just the whole thing is just dope. So the whole thing is dope.
Danny Spiegel, Carolyn Connors, and Reagan Huckabee. You would rather their spots go to Karen Frey. Who else?
Good point, Danny. Good point. Sorry, one more thing. Danny says tennis. Tennis is accurate. That's it. You're right. I apologize. And I'm sure people can think of a couple more. Tennis, we go back and forth between men and women too.
Danny Spiegel's not a good example. She got injured.
All right, you want to go next one up? So Reagan Huckabee and the Mackenzie Riley is the next one up.
Yeah, yes, I would rather see younger, more competitive women from Europe than
no. It'd be Caroline Connors, Reagan Huckabee, and and Jessica Griffith.
Yes.
But I'm asking, who are the other 2? I agree completely with Karen Frey. Who are the other 2?
Well, Evie Hollis got 6th on the other side, and I can't remember exactly the format that I laid out of how you would select the third, which semifinal would get an extra spot. But like I said, I wrote the article and detailed all of that there. If anyone's watching the live stream from Dubai still, they are just about to finish up with announcing everyone other than the podium, and then they'll get to the podium finishers.
And then we can go eat breakfast.
I think we probably could do that now. Are you planning to watch the podium announcement live? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know. I don't care.
I mean, we can.
How is Brian not involved in the games planning? Way too much knowledge not to use.
Some people don't like me. That's as simple as that.
No, why would they pay for it?
He's associated with Sevan.
Why would they pay for it? They just watch this show and steal it and say it's their own idea.
I have worked for the games, but they have they have a team that's been working together for a long time. What?
It just opens up just a massive door.
There's just so much detail he doesn't want to go into.
Oh, it's so much. I want to see this shot of Luca laying in his brother's lap. That's so sweet. I would love to. I want to see that. That's so awesome. That's so big brother, little brother shit. I see my boys doing that all the time. I'd love to see them still be doing that crap in their 20s. Just a team. How stoked are they that they get to compete in the games together like that?
Where did Luca finish?
He was 8th or 9th. Yeah, he finished 9th, about 20 points behind Simmons, Karovis, and Hapalainen. So pretty good. I would say it's pretty good performance for him.
So about what we expected.
Yeah, I would say is probably the best case scenario was maybe a 6th, and the worst case was a 15th. So just in the middle.
Hey, you know what? I think the stream is fine. All the shit we bitched about, or that I bitched about, no placards, the whatever, no scoreboard, just blah blah blah. You know what? The camera work, the making fun of the camera work, the picture quality has been fucking great, and we're lucky we get to see anything fucking at all. So, hats off to you guys. Thank you. Sorry for being such a whiny bitch and yelling at you guys. You guys did fuck up by not letting Brian be in charge. Brian should be president.
No, I chose not to go this year.
Oh.
But no, the one thing, it's not easy to cover a CrossFit competition. And but even having said that, you can catch the finishes of events. And when you miss the finishing of the relevant finishes of heats or events, that's, I think, is the most disappointing thing.
And it's not just Dubai that screws that up. Other competitions do the exact same thing. It's an easy fix, and nobody's fixed it yet.
Yeah, nobody's fixed it yet. It's crazy.
Even in the CrossFit Games, when the first guy finishes, they focus on that guy, even if there's a race left for second and third.
How about all the downtime in between all the CrossFit Games footage that could have been just plain affiliate commercials? There was so much downtime that was wasted. So much downtime. Nuts. Absolutely nuts.
That would be a fun open announcement, Danny.
What did he suggest, or she?
He said Spencer and Saxon versus Lazar and Luca. Just have the 4 of them.
I had organized and I had started organizing an event that was going to be the Panchik brothers versus the Smith brothers versus the Anderson brothers, and I had started penciling it up and getting it ready, and it just never went off. But that would have been awesome. That would have been awesome. And Luca and Lazar would be great against Spencer and Saxon too. All right, are we done here?
I think so.
Caleb, thank you. You killed it today. Susie, you killed it. Will, I hope you're having a safe drive wherever the hell you're going. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Seeing Roman in the games will be as disappointing as seeing Hopper in the games. I don't understand that comment. I just want to say one thing to you guys really quick if I can. Tomorrow night, we are doing the news show at 6 p.m. Emily Abbott will be stepping in for Kate Gordon as she is stepping out for 2 weeks while she escapes a certain part of Australia where the quarantine is too fucking stiff to live in. People, stop texting me and sending me shit talking about how it's free in Canada and someone the other day said, I don't know why you dog Canada. As long as you're vaccinated, you can go everywhere. Like, did you hear what you just said? Fucking knucklehead. So we got Emily Abbott on tomorrow at 6 p.m. On Monday, we have Dave Lipson from Thunder Bro. On Tuesday, we have Hunter McIntyre back on to tell us how many CrossFitters are doing drugs. On Wednesday, we have Dr. Asim Malhotra. He is basically the Sanjay Gupta of some of the television stations in the UK. He has been vaccinated, and he has also written a book on 21 days to immunity. And now he is very, very concerned with mandating vaccines, especially for kids. On Thursday, we have a podcast with Sage Bergener. That one's going to be awesome. That's Mike Bergener's daughter. On Friday, Christmas Eve, we have a live call-in show. And then on Christmas, I will circle back around. And Christmas, we're going to do a 3-hour special with Brian and John, where we get you guys all prepped up for Wadapalooza. And that will be on a Christmas special that the 3 of us will be doing.
Christmas morning.
Just seeing if you assholes are listening. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.